And we are live. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Stream Punks, the first episode. I'm here today, joined by Jamie and Aldershot, both guys that were pretty well involved in GG and BC. And I, unfortunately, did not get to make it to the same party as them, but oh well, shit happens.
It was a good party, man.
It was a good party. Okay, so as many of you know, my name is EJ Spurl. I run Black Trident Media / Black Trident TV. Obviously, you're on the channel. You already know this. And I've got, first up, Alder. Say your, get your intros in.
Yeah, I'm Aldershot. I do the YouTubes sometimes. I cover indie games and PC games, hidden gems, and all that kind of good stuff. I do graphic design, illustrations, and I'm Pro GG. That's about it. Yeah, there you go.
Well, you probably should be if you're in here, man. You know. Not that I'm against antis being in here, you know, but...
That'd be pretty funny.
Well, no, here's the thing. As long as we can actually have a calm conversation, I'm totally fine with that. But
yeah,
like,
it's not going to happen.
if they're going to go off, like, what's his name, that Seattle for Truth guy that was on Sargon stream the other night? God, no, sorry, man.
Oh, God, I got to hear that.
That was good. Anyway, so Jamie, take it off, man.
Hey, okay, so I'm Jamie Schneider. I was the main organizer for GG and BC, which was really awesome. Apart from that, I guess full-time I'm a QA tester for video games, so I can't really shill that much there. But other shilling is sometimes I stream video games at Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Darth Korig. So if you ever want to see me swear and play video games, that's where you can find me.
It's nice. I tried out my first Twitch stream a couple of weeks ago. It was heavily modded Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't think it's my thing.
Yeah?
Don't think it's my thing. I don't think Let's Plays and whatnot are my thing. But it's okay. My buddy Jono, he was at GG and Vic as well. He does streaming, and he's actually pretty closely involved with Black Trident. He's been there since the beginning, so one of these days we'll get him on one of these streams. You know, when we don't have to do it on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
He's busy on Sundays, eh?
Yeah.
Everyone's at church.
That must be it. Yeah, that's right.
No, his work schedule changed, unfortunately. He might even be listening right now, but you never know. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so this is Stream Punks, which is really hilarious to me because I was surprised that name hadn't been taken. You know? Yeah. I Googled it before. I couldn't find it anywhere. It was like, wow, it seems like such an obvious thing, but oh well. So I'm like, so I went with it. Yeah, we rolled with that. So now I want to get a little bit into how each of us got involved with GG. All right, so I guess I'll start here. I've been in it since day one. Since the Zoe post went up, within a few hours I had actually read that, and I was like, holy shit, that's some crazy. But at first I was just like, whatever, it's just doesn't matter. But it wasn't until it was pointed out who Nathan Grayson was in relation and what he had done that I started getting more and more interested. And then the censorship happened thing, and it blew up, and now here I am, still here. So what about you guys? How did you guys get involved?
Aldo, you want to go ahead? Or?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Well, I knew about this whole thing since when it was called the Quinspiracy. I'm sure you guys remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I didn't really care at that point. I was just like, okay, well, this is just fucking bullshit drama. That's some person's private life. I don't care. Whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the whole, the notorious 11 articles or 12 articles that came out, that's what drew me in, really, right?
I found that a lot of people got involved around that time because it was too well coordinated. You know what I mean?
Well, they tried to make the gamer name to be this sexist, misogynist, racist title, which is fucking bullshit. That pissed me off, like a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I hear you. And Jamie.
Okay, I'll try to make this short. So pretty much working on a computer all day, my getaway, because some people have smoke breaks, some people, go out for a walk, whatever. What I do is I'm just addicted to Twitter. So that's all I look at is just every 5 minutes or so, I'm like, what's the new tweets? And I go back to my life. So I noticed pretty early on, I didn't notice what Five Guys was. I don't have a lot of time to actually look into things deeply when I'm at work. So I saw Five Guys and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a restaurant. They probably opened up some new location or whatever. That's all I thought about it. And then that kind of passed me completely. And then I see Gamergate trending, and again, kind of the same thing. I thought it was about Gamersgate, the website, because I'm very much a Steam fan and I've bought from them before. So I saw it, I just saw the name, and I'm like, okay, that's more interesting. I thought it was the website Gamersgate was trending, and I look at it, and this was very early on, and it was just a lot of, anger and all over the place, and I'm trying to figure out what happened, because it was just flooded and flooded. I couldn't figure it out, and so again, I don't have much time, and I just kind of let it go. But, sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. But one of my fellow coworkers is actually the main reason I got into it, and shout out to him. I don't know if he wants to stay anonymous, but you know who you are. You wear red all the time. He was actually like, no, you're so wrong. And then he sat down with me like at lunch break or whatever and talked about it, and I was just blown away, just like everything that I missed. So I was probably like, I understood it and realized what was going on probably a couple of weeks into September, and probably the first people I followed were like Shoe. So it had a really hilarious intro to Gamergate, and Shoe and Oliver and all that, just very early on, and getting in through that. So I was very confused at first, and then once someone explained it to me, I was like, holy shit, and I went full bore into it, because anti-censorship is something I'm very much for, and I've always hated like the big journalistic websites for video games for a long time. I've never looked at them, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, I hear you there. Actually, one of the first videos that I had made on the Black Trident TV channel, actually the first video, was all about censorship. But when I came at it from that perspective, it was mainly coming from the right wing,
Okay.
banning books because of one reason or another. But then, as time progressed, I started actually noticing that it was coming more and more from like the left wing, and I was like, "What's going on here? This doesn't make sense. It's not right." But as these things go, these things happen, and what can you do? Yeah. So we got a little bit of a structure for the show. Past live streams have been. Oh God! My live streams have been mainly like gong shows, where there is no structure, and we're just kind of talking over each other, and it gets a little old after a while there. But so we wanted to. Sorry, just bear with me 1 second here. I wanted to. Here we go. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of a thing. Okay, so we wanted to actually discuss a few things here, mostly recent happenings. We're going to give the chat a chance to ask questions and which reminds me, does anybody actually have the chat window open?
I have the link right here. 1 moment.
Okay, yeah, because I actually completely spaced on having to do that. So
no questions. Most people are just talking. Sheena specifically is talking about. Your wonderful choice of stream names, Stream Punks.
Oh, can anyone do an Adam Jensen voice?
An Adam Jensen voice?
No, I didn't ask for this. I don't know. I can't.
Okay, I'm probably going to get in trouble, but I have no idea who Adam Jensen is.
Are you kidding me?
Yes. I haven't played the games either, but I know who he is. It's Deus Ex, the main character.
Oh, I've totally played that. Okay, I've totally played that. I just didn't know who he was. Okay,
Neo.
All right. Okay. I see. All right. So I'm just going to get some screen sharing going on here, because that was the whole point of this. But I am completely disorganized at the moment.
All good.
Which tends to happen. These things never go how you intend them to. Okay, so screen share. There we go.
All right, well, while you're doing that, I'll share a little bit more about how I got involved with GG. If that's cool.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead.
Like when that kicked up too, the whole gamers are dead. If the gamer name is even a thing anymore, those articles. I'm sure you guys remember those. It was there was some discussion and debates on my Facebook. This before I shut down my Facebook group, but I argued against it. All right, obviously, I was like, this is ridiculous. Of course, there's gamers. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's the most profitable entertainment industry in the world right now. How can there not be gamers these days. It's just the most ridiculous notion I've ever heard of, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I argue that point, and some friends of mine, who I thought were my friends anyways, started insinuating that I was sexist. Like, they didn't outright say it, but you can read between the lines what they're trying to say and all this shit.
Yeah.
I just got fed up. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. This is fucking ridiculous. And here's the thing, too. Like, I'm from Newfoundland originally. Like, all my friends on my Facebook.
You're a fucking dirty newfie.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But most of those people who were insinuating I was being sexist or racist or whatever, these are fucking white fucking newfie Canadians that were doing this. I was like, this is ridiculous. I never even experienced this in my entire life until at this point. You know?
You know what? My family's from Newfoundland, so I kind of feel you there.
Don't get me wrong. People in Newfoundland are fucking fantastic, amazing people. They really, really are.
My grandma's great.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I had a very similar experience because back then I actually still had a Facebook account.
Right.
I deleted it like a month or two later. I was just done with Facebook, but I started right off the bat talking about like these journalists that were like doing they're pulling their shenanigans, and I had the same thing. I had friends coming out and just kind of like, oh well, I'm a big fan of Jim Sterling, and Jim Sterling says that you guys are all full of shit. So
I still like Jim Sterling.
I'm so torn on him.
He's witty and funny. I can't help it. But continue.
Well, once again, I still like Joss Whedon movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's just one of those things. You can like the creation without liking the creator. Same with the Yogscast. You know what I mean? That's my guilty pleasure. I watch a lot of the Yogscast stuff, but those guys are kind of idiots half the time.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But yeah. Anyway, so
overtly selling their brand. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Kind of funny that both of you deleted your Facebook. I kept it on, and like anytime I see something I disagree with, I go, no matter how much I know that person or how much of a contact they are, I debate them on it. And I think since Gamergate started, I had about 600 friends, and now I'm at like 400. Because it's just, it's just they don't debate. They just see that you're, supporting the patriarchy or whatever, and then they just remove you. So.
Patriarchy.
Gamergate is totally the patriarchy. Like I can't get over that one.
Yeah, so
that's just ridiculous.
Just burning bridges every time I go on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh look, okay, here's Adam Jensen right here. This is Adam.
There you
Jensen.
go.
That's Adam Jensen. Okay, I get what's going on here. All right, we got a few more people in the stream now. Teddy Bearism's here. He was at GG and Vic.
I know him.
Dollar the Knight Errant. Dolor. I'm not 100% sure. I know they're from Victoria. They didn't get a chance to make it out to the meetup, which is, I shake my fist at you. But it happens. But yeah, anyway, let's get on to the topic here. So earlier this week, there was a post in Kotaku in Action about Jonathan Daniel Brown, right? Who he's this guy right here on the left, right? And he had sent out a tweet to Chris Clueless, and that guy, and basically said, hey, thanks for introducing me to Gamergate. I met a really cool, diverse group of people. Actually, I think the tweet's on this page itself here. Yeah, here we go. Thanks for telling me to research Gamergate. I met a diverse group of passionate fans of all races, creeds, and sexualities. And I thought that was awesome. Mm-hmm. Now, the second reason I thought this was awesome, it was not just our new more people with celebrity status kind of coming out and actually sharing their point. Now, this doesn't mean he's pro Gamergate, but it definitely means he's giving us the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Right. And
just like Eli Roth. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
Don't make me fanboy.
Yeah. No. I'll get into the Eli Roth thing in a minute here. But Jonathan Daniel Brown, this was very unique for me because I actually met this guy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I actually met this guy. He was in Victoria filming a film called The Cannabis Kid a couple years ago with Ron Perlman.
Is he Canadian?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know this gent until recently.
Yeah, we would have to ask him. I don't know. I do know that Project X, I believe, was filmed in Seattle, so he may be from the Pacific Northwest. I don't know. But yeah, this comes on the heels of William Shatner's tweets, which once again aren't exactly pro GG, but he's definitely giving us the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Right. And then we got Eli Roth, and there's that Breitbart article about all the various celebrities that are kind of coming out, speaking out against this SJW culture that we've got kind of like infesting everything else. We've got what is it, Dave
Jerry
Chappelle coming out of retirement
Seinfeld as well.
Yeah, Seinfeld.
Jerry
You know,
Seinfeld.
Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle's coming back. He's doing it.
Wait, Dave Chappelle said something?
Yeah, well, he hasn't said anything about it. He hasn't said anything about it, but his entire because he's going on tour with a comedy show.
Okay.
Right, and it's entirely based on like giving a big middle finger to political correctness.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome.
Right, so it definitely, you know, like it definitely is progressing to a point where this is like I've said this before, that I'm of the opinion that this is kind of evolving less. It's not a movement. It's less a consumer revolt, and it's more becoming a subculture.
I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
It really is. I agree with you.
Mhm.
Also, a little bit, might be a little bit off topic, but all these comedians are naming off. I'm so happy because the thing is, once comedians start getting a hold of this topic and they start writing jokes about it, it's over for them.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, to put it bluntly, if you're a comedian and you consider yourself a social justice warrior, you're progressive, like, you can't be a comedian. Like, it just doesn't work. Like,
It's like being a chef who has no taste buds.
yeah. Like that feminist comedian that Milo argued a while back. Did anyone actually watch her stand up?
She was the one that like she got booed out of a university by the campus feminists, didn't she?
She was the one where the darling heard around the world when he called her darling, and she just was completely destroyed. Yeah.
The
So
look on her
actually,
face, yeah.
I actually watched her stand up because I'm like feminist comedian. There's no way, and it's just, it's the worst.
Oh God.
It's just not funny. It's just, it doesn't even sound like jokes, but it's labeled as a comedy act. I don't get it.
Let me guess. This is a bunch of political statements said in a very smarmy and satirical manner,
Mhm.
and that's the joke,
Exactly.
isn't it? There's no
Yeah.
punchlines, just tone.
Yeah, it was very, if I remember correctly, it was just very like, here's how I feel, and I'm very right, and you have to deal with it kind of thing. And it's like, this isn't funny. I remember her bashing religion a lot, actually.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know, it was bad.
You know, actually, you know what it reminds me of? There's this guy that I used to know. Actually, ironically, I ran into him yesterday on my way to the store. It was weird. But back in the day, I actually had to stop hanging out with this guy because his idea of jokes was just to be as offensive as possible, but there was no punchline. There was nothing to it. He would just be like, oh, you know what sucks? I'm not going to repeat that word on a stream. Because yeah, well, it's the N word. It's the N word. But like, and that was the joke. And I'm like, dude, that's not like, what the hell? That's not even funny. Like, what's that?
That's what I find funny. Like the most shocking, awful things, like they're just out of nowhere. Just that's the funniest stuff to me. So.
I couldn't. I was just like I'm waiting for a punchline here. Like, you know, like racist jokes can be funny, right? But they gotta be funny first, you know. They gotta be unexpected.
Yeah.
From this guy, I kind of expected that answer.
Oh, he was
he's
just
a bit
doing
of a
it too
tool.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what it was, right? And it was just nonstop, right? Like, what was it? The key to humor isn't to make them laugh; it's to surprise them,
Yeah.
right? So, anyways, all right. So yeah, no. So we got Jonathan Daniel Brown aboard with us here, and what else did we want to get to? Now, I found this article. It actually got sent to me through the emails. Social justice bullies the authoritarianism of millennial social justice. And Kathy Young, I guess, liked this. And so the email algorithm sent this article to me. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to read this. And I actually suggest, I'm going to actually tweet this out for people. I actually suggest reading this. Like, it is a very long read. It is very, very hefty. But my God, does this guy ever hit on so many, like, good points. And the comments are just hilarious, too. So... this is a little bit heady, but he talks about the horseshoe effect and horseshoe theory. I keep calling it the horseshoe effect, but you know, and he makes a lot of comparisons to like 1984, George Orwell and whatnot, like taking quotes right out of the book and like applying it to like, hey, like this is what they're doing. And my God, does he hit so close to home with this article? So the article is written by Aristoteles. Organos? I can't fucking pronounce that for shit.
Even the name sounds smart.
Even the name sounds smart. All right, so Medium article about social justice. I'm typing here. Bullies. And this, and the streams go nuts. Yeah.
I did start reading this myself, and like you said, it is very
Tweeted.
long. so I wasn't able to get through all of it, but it is just very awesome, very well thought out, and yeah, I'll definitely read it all later on when I can.
Yeah.
Very well written.
Okay, yeah. No, I put the link into the stream if anybody there wants to check it out as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So I just wanted to touch on this. It's definitely something that like bears some attention. But we will move on to the next, and that is, I know you guys have all heard of this, White People, the documentary.
Oh yeah, that's fun. Oh man, roller coaster ride is better than Independence Day.
Oh God, I was hanging out with my buddy Ro earlier today, and he actually might be on the stream a little bit later. And Ro's a Filipino guy, and he heard about this, and his eyes rolled so hard.
Dude, I'm an Asian guy who grew up like in Newfoundland, the whitest of white provinces in Canada. Yeah. I rolled my fucking eyes at this. I was like, oh God.
Well, the thing is I mean, now I'm gonna tweet out Actually, I'm not even gonna tweet out. There's this here. Hold on. That's what I'm gonna tweet out. The trailer for this. Now you can actually watch the whole thing for free on YouTube. Oops, there we go. You can watch the whole. This is the actual full one. So I'll send out the whatchamacallit, the thing. So the idea behind this is that they're going around having uncomfortable conversations with white people on what it's like to be white, right? And my issue with this is not so much as like, oh hey you white people, haha, see I caught you with your privilege. I don't really care. If somebody wants to come up to me and tell me I'm privileged, I'm like, okay, well, why don't you come home and take care of my fucking house? Like, I'm sorry, it's not the easiest job in the fucking world to like run a family. I've got an 18-year-old daughter who, thank God, is 18 now. She can start, getting a job and working for herself. But I'll tweet this out real quick, and I'll put it in the stream. And this here. Teddy Bear says that somebody should make a parody doc of that.
Can you imagine, like, if someone just made, like, black people or something? Like, the amount of hate it would get?
Oh, my God.
Like,
do it, Jamie. I think you should do it. I would fund you. I would fund you.
You would? Oh, God, yeah, I'd get some money, and then I'd be burned at the stake. Jesus. But, yeah, just, anytime any of these things comes out, and it's just, like, a really blatant attack on white people, which I don't think should matter. Like, I truly believe that we're past the point where race especially should matter. But every time, I just think, like, what if this was towards another race? Like, the amount of hate it would get. And I posted this link on Facebook, but I don't care. But I have this guy who's, I'm not sure, I think he's Chinese, and he's constantly posting these articles that are sounding like he just hates white people. Like, it's just the worst thing. Like, one of them was how there was that church murder, and it was pretty much an article.
The Dylan Roof thing?
Yeah, and it was just saying how it's like, it's not his fault, it's all white people's fault, and they all have to pay for this. And it was a super long article, and it was like, this is making me feel uncomfortable, because it sounds like it's going to be witch hunt worthy. And,
oh, yeah, no, that's just the thing, right?
And I comment on this, and I put out the facts, and I say all this to this person, and he deletes my comment. I'd comment again, he deletes my comment, and then I'm like, so are you just racist towards white people, or like, what's good? Like, why do you want to hide what I'm saying?
Censorship.
Yeah.
I watched the documentary, and what you just said, the whole color blindness, I agree with you, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Any sensible person would agree with you, but in that documentary, they stated, because again, I watched the whole thing, unfortunately.
You're the only one that did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel horrible.
We were all supposed to, but Alder was the only one who actually did.
I'm a lesser person for it, too.
Oh, God. Did it make you dumber?
It did.
Okay.
But, in the documentary, it argued that, the color blind argument is just a way to excuse the debate, excuse the discussion, to pass things off. That's bullshit. Mm-hmm. I think that's fucking bullshit. The fact that people weren't seeing other people as colors, that is the sign of progress. This is what these fucking people are fighting for. And they're too stupid to fucking say it right in front of their friggin' faces.
See, my thing is like, okay, I grew up in Abbotsford, right? And the three of us were actually from BC, so we know about Abbotsford. But when I first moved there, it was still the Bible Belt. It was extremely, like, there were 80-something churches for 50,000 people. It was ridiculous. Like, there was a ridiculous number of churches there, right? And most of them were, you know, your average white Christian. But in the 90s, what happened was the town population exploded, and we had a massive immigration of East Indian people. Now, East Indian people had always been there because there was a Sikh temple that was like built back in like the early 1900s, late 1800s, right? So they'd always been there, but now all of a sudden, it was like there was actually a very large percentage. So a lot of my friends during that period ended up being East Indian people, right? My stepdad hated it. My stepdad, he, like, I will go on record, like, he's dead now, but but my God, he was the most racist person I'd ever known in my life, you know.
Wow.
And I bucked that trend. I was like, no, these guys are my buddies. Like, whatever, I'm going to go hang out with them. He absolutely hated it, but hey, who cares? You know, I'm there with my buddies.
That's the way it works, right?
It was the color, and it was color blindness. Is because I was like, no, I don't care what color this person is. I'm going to judge them based on their character, how cool of a person they are, you know. And if they can't do the same for me, then fuck them.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You know, and and that's exactly how it goes, right? So, you know, when I say people saying that, you know, color blindness is just another form of racism. It's a way to escape the issue. It's just like, that's, you know, I'm sorry, but that seems narcissistic to me.
Here's the way I look at it. This is how I kind of view it, right? Like, it's a generational thing, acceptance and tolerance and all this kind of stuff. Like, your granddaddy or step-granddaddy or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. He grew up in a time where, you know, there was segregation of race and gender and all this kind of stuff, and that was the norm to him, right? So it took him a generation for that family, as in you, to break that norm, to become accepting of other people, right? Mm-hmm. But these millennials, right, they never seen actual discrimination. They haven't actually seen, you know, segregation of race and gender and all this kind of stuff, like actual segregation, not this bullshit that they're spouting, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they have no great struggle. So they make one up, right? That's kind of how I think is what's happening, if that makes any sense.
No, totally. And what we're starting to see is it's starting to like spread out to such a degree. Like they've always said for years, like people like Shakespeare and like Chaucer, oh, they're the dead white guys. They're the dead white guys. You know, they're part of the patriarchy, all this kind of stuff. Now, my daughter adores Shakespeare. Like, it is her passion. Like, she actually just got like the lead role in a play, As You Like It. Right, and she's completely off book. This is how much she loves Shakespeare. And at her high school, where she was going to, her creative writing teacher refused to even bring up Shakespeare because he was a racist, he was a sexist, he was a misogynist.
Wow.
And this is all based off of one quote, I think, in one of his sonnets in which he referred to Native Americans as savages. Now, in the 15th century, or is it the 15th century? I don't know. It was the 1600s sometime, I think.
It's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, you know. That was like probably the PC term for them. Like, I hate to say it, but like, it's the reality behind it, you know.
I mean, it's not like people weren't taken out of context back then. I mean,
exactly.
It could have been written for like a story or something. It could have written from a different, like, a character's point of view. Yeah. And
so regardless, even if let's say Shakespeare was all these things that this person thinks he is, like a racist, you know, misogynist, all this evil supervillain stuff, right? Mm-hmm. He's still an important point of history. He still needs to be discussed and learned about.
Absolutely.
Hitler was an asshole, but that doesn't mean we should erase him from the history books.
Well, especially,
And sorry, this is what I find very interesting about their color blindness thing, right? Is they say, oh, it's just a way to ignore this. It's just a way to ignore this. You know, it's a roundabout way. But in the meantime, they're literally trying to ignore things like freaking Shakespeare, like the Confederate flag more recently. You know what I mean? Like things like that. Like, let's ban the flag. And it's just like, okay, well, I'll agree that maybe it shouldn't be on a federal building, right? But the reality is the Confederate flag no longer means slavery, you know? It never actually meant slavery. It was definitely from a group of people that supported slavery, but it wasn't what it was about. It was about Southern unity, right? And then you get into the arguments of like, oh, well, nationalism is racist. I'm like, okay, you go tell that to the next person coming through coming through your city wearing a Ugandan flag, you know?
Yeah, really.
Because if they're allowed to be proud of their country, we're allowed to be proud of ours, and it's that simple.
Absolutely.
It's very simple, you know. So. And that's the way I look at it. So like yeah, sure, it doesn't belong on a federal building, but why the hell would you pull it from stores? Why the hell, you know? I see.
Why would
people,
you pull a 40-year-old show? I think it's been Dukes of Hazzard 40 years, and it's just on the freaking car. Like, that's just absurd.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. No, for sure. But yeah, so I mean, like, and that's just kind of how it goes. But like, what the very interesting thing I found about this documentary is the reaction on social media. For one, now if you look at the white people hashtag, right?
Okay.
Oh, hold on. What's Teddy Bear saying? That flag is still racist if you look at who's showing up for protests. That may well be true, but they're using that flag as a tool. It's nothing to them but a tool. If you look at the statistics in the United States on what people believe the flag stands for, you'll find that 58%, which is almost even, believe that it stands for Southern unity and not racism. It's been 150 years since this occurred. Okay, need I remind you that the KKK was started by the Democratic Party. It was started by liberals. Why don't we view the Democrats and the KKK still as left wing?
Yeah.
Why can they change and be now considered a right wing movement while the Confederate flag is still a racist symbol?
The truth is, guilt by association is a lie. Just because these racists associate themselves with this flag doesn't neglect the historic significance and the other meaning of the Confederate flag. Right?
Going back to Gamergate, guilt by association is something that we should know very well.
Exactly. Yeah. We got to be very careful about that. There are racists out there who will use that as a tool, right? But I would say that the majority of people, at least 58%, according to that study, I'll see if I can actually find the article later, and I'll link it to you guys. But 58% of people believe that flag stands for Southern unity, right? So there's nuance behind it. There's always nuance. You know what I mean? I once had a Confederate flag. I was never a fucking racist. I actually had a bandana that I used to wear. Mind you, that was when I was hanging out with a lot of bikers, and that was also the period of life where I saw a lot of racism and a lot of actual misogyny. And I'm not talking like this man-spreading bullshit. I'm talking about people being made victims of. Okay? And I got out of that lifestyle because I was scared to death of it. I did not want to be there, right? So when you see the actual face of racism and misogyny, and then all of a sudden you're told that, like, oh, just having the flag means you're a racist. No, I'm sorry, but like Daisy Duke and fucking Bo and all those guys in the Dukes of Hazzard, they were pretty progressive for their time.
Who said this to you?
What's that?
Who said this to you about the flag? Just because you have the flag means you're racist. Like, what was this person like?
This person is actually I don't want to name names, obviously, but he's in a band. He's in a local band here in Victoria. He is my buddy's brother. Is what it boils down to, right?
Did he ever grow up?
He grew up in Ontario.
Discriminated or
no? As far as I know, he grew up in Hamilton, Ontario. I'm not. I don't know much else. I don't know what the demographics are like in Hamilton, to be honest. So I can't speak for that. Right.
I'm just saying, these people who talk about, what is, or dictating what's racist and what's not racist, most of these people haven't seen real racism in their entire fucking lives. They have no goddamn idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. So Teddy Bear says, I just don't think it should be government endorsed. I agree. And I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. It should not be endorsed by the government.
Well, to an extent. Like, I believe the government probably still has some kind of responsibility to retain its historical significance, make sure it's not lost in history and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But like in modern political situations, like, it's irrelevant.
Right. Like, I wouldn't have it up in the UN or anything like that. Right.
Okay. So we kind of went off on a tangent there. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to this. So one of the things I wanted to actually address about like this white people documentary is the response on social media and the response by the media. Right. All of the articles I've read talking about this basically agree color blindness is a problem. We should end color blindness. And all the people on social media are either with that. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people who are with that, right? But what I found most interesting is that they rely on 40-year-old social theory that has been built upon, social theory, built upon social theory, built upon social theory, that is all contingent on this one theory that from 40 years ago about racialism, and which is like the whole power and prejudice argument, right?
Right.
Now, you guys are aware of that argument, right? That, racism is not, like being discriminatory against somebody for the skin color, but it's rather a system that was built by white people to, benefit the white man and, all that kind of shit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So you can't technically be racist towards a white person
exactly,
in their minds.
Exactly, right? And that and that's what this is built upon. But the thing is that also suggests that race is not a biological construct, but we know for a fact that it is.
Mm-hmm. Of course it is.
Like scientifically, like there are studies, there are fucking like brain scans and MRIs and fucking like West Africans have more fast twitch muscles in their legs than East Africans. East Africans are really good at long distance running, while West Africans are good at sprinting. But they're both the same quote unquote race, but they're different. So how are they different within one race, whereas other races can't be different in other ways? Now I'm not going to get into like pure topics of like intelligence, because honestly, how do you measure that ability properly? People are good at different things. You can't judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree. You know what I mean?
There's a way, but it's not really a topic.
Yeah, that I will admit is an uncomfortable topic. You know what I mean? Because how do you properly measure that?
I'm ignorant on the subject too, so I just don't have the information.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Same with me. It's interesting, but I just can't really
exactly right. But yeah, so it's very interesting. Now, if you go to the white people website here, what does it mean to be white? Watch white people here and learn more about whiteness. Now, I don't like that term whiteness, because that reminds me of like the old communist radicals of the 1960s and 70s. They were talking about whiteness needs to end, and there's still people today saying whiteness needs to end, and genocide against the white race is nobility to humanity, or whatever, or what is it? Being a race traitor. Oh fuck, what was that guy's name? Noah Ignatieff, I think his name is Noah Ignatieff. I'm just going to do a quick Google here. Noah.
These arguments frustrate me.
No,
honestly, hearing about him.
Yeah, this is the guy. This is the fucker. Look at that picture.
Oh, that guy.
That guy. Right? Treason, or was it? Yeah, his call to abolish whiteness as a socio-political category. Right? What is he said? Treason against white. Oh, fuck, where is it? I know I'm using Wikipedia. You guys can suck it.
The fact that this guy, like, obviously is not white, right? And is talking negatively about white people, and not even based on facts, on pure conjecture, opinions, and biases, right?
Yeah.
By definition, that actually makes him a racist. By definition.
And that's just it, right? He wants to end whiteness, and there's other professors, even like academic professors, who are saying that white people should just white men should just kill themselves, right? And I don't know, it's just really rather ridiculous, especially when you get into the actual social theory aspect of it, which basically this entire documentary is predicated on the assumption that race is a social construct. It's not biological, right? But we know for a fact, like just with our own eyes even, and that's just the basic thing that it is. People look different, people act different, people, different but equal. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that they're any lesser people. They're all human. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways.
The idea of nurture being the only thing that makes up a human being, and the nature part doesn't have any effect, is just ludicrous.
Oh yeah.
It's absolutely ludicrous. It's nothing short of a religious belief. Honestly.
Absolutely. There's a really good documentary series by a Norwegian comedian, actually, which is it's called Hirnavask, and it means brainwash. And he did this like 6 or 7 episode documentary series. And teddy bearisms. Are you laughing at what he said?
Making me laugh at that.
Right. Oh god. What's that?
Okay.
Oh,
he says that gingers need to be rounded up. I got a lot of ginger friends, so I'm not going to say anything to that.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I'm from Newfoundland, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's right. See, yeah, I totally brain farted there. What was I talking about?
That documentary.
Right, Current of Ask.
Yeah.
And what he does is he actually he challenges the Norwegian status quo, which is, of course, we know it's very extremely hyper liberal. It's very let's open our borders and bring people in and like mold our cultures to suit theirs and things like that, right?
Super weird, yeah.
Or that the brains of men and women are exactly the same, and the brains, the biology of all the different races are exactly the same, and all that kind of stuff. And he went around and he talked to these researchers in Norway and got their point of view on that, and they're like, yeah, men and women are completely the same. And then he went around the world and he talked to actual scientists who've been in the field for years and years and years, and they discovered that almost from the day of birth there are behavioral differences.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Almost from the day of birth. If you look at the research of Simon Baron Cohen, who is Sacha Baron Cohen, like Bruno and Borat, that guy.
Okay.
It's his cousin.
That's what I thought of right away. Really?
Yeah, it's his cousin. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait.
Yeah.
Borat's cousin is a social scientist.
Yeah. No, actually, no. He's
That makes
biological.
sense in a weird way.
I think he's I forget what kind of scientist he is, but he's got. Yes, I'm using Wikipedia again. If I spell it right, Simon Baron Cohen, right here.
I mean,
this guy.
that guy is really smart. Like, if you ever see his interview, Cohen Baron, he's a genius, man. He's kind of a smart dude.
He is a professor of developmental psychopathology at the University of Cambridge.
Wow.
Yeah, So this guy, I actually read a few of his studies and stuff like that. Really interesting. But in the end, it's just it's one of those things. People are going to have opinions on it. Some of the opinions are going to be wrong. Some of them are going to be a little bit less nuanced than they should be, and it comes down to it. But yeah. Anyway, so let's you guys want to move on to the next topic here?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, so this one I really like because of how it was all put together. Where is it here? Now this is a list. This is very interesting. This is a list of all the Game Journo people.
Okay.
And so Lee Alexander. So all the names that are listed in green here.
Is it Lee or Lay? I think it's Lay.
I think it's
Lee.
I'm pretty sure it's Lee because
Really?
I know people named Lee whose names are spelled just like that. I've never met anybody named Lay.
I'll just call her Idiot. How about that?
Something like that. Okay. So all the names in green here are personal relationships with the subject. So she has written about all these people while sharing a personal relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what it means when it's bolded, right? Anyways,
As writer.
other collaborations. They've collaborated on other things as writers. Okay, all right. Names in red, they are subject financially supports the writer. So this Javi Gwaltney person financially supports Lee Alexander, right? And then and the ones in kind of yellow brown-ish here, writer financially supports the subject. So the writer supports the subject, right? And hold on, the one. Okay, so if I'm understanding this properly, the names on the left gave coverage. Lee Alexander gave coverage to all these people, while the ones on the right gave coverage to Lee Alexander.
Oh, I thought it was just one, they couldn't fit it all. So, okay.
No, because look, Brandon Keogh.
Oh, I see.
He's on both sides of this, right?
Okay.
So this was made by Bone Golem, I believe.
He's the Deep Freeze guy, right?
I think so.
I'm pretty
Mr.
sure he's
Bones?
the Deep Freeze guy.
Bone Golem? Yeah.
Bone Golems, yeah.
But he tweeted this out, I guess, last night or earlier today or something like that, and my eyes went wide. I'm like, holy crap! All these people are in it together.
Mm-hmm.
He spelled his name wrong, but Natahan Grayson is connected with Brandon Poyer, Robert Arnott, Nina Freeman, Zoe Quinn, Deirdre. I can't pronounce that last. Kiai,
Mm-hmm.
White Whale Games, Porpentine, Riot Games, Robert Young. And these are all personal relationships.
I'm wondering, do you know what the connection with Nathan Grayson and Riot Games is? That's that kind of struck my eye because that's the creators of League of Legends, right? So that's
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, I saw that and I'm like, oh god, that's kind of alarming.
Okay, I
Yeah,
am not sure. I'm not
I'm
sure.
sure somebody knows. Somebody knows.
You know, we got Patricia Hernandez here, who's connected to GamerX. That would explain that.
Hmm.
You know, nothing with OzCon. I can't see anything here with OzCon yet. But you know, like you remember the Twitter storm the other day with
Yeah.
Oh my
everybody was
god.
tweeting about OzCon all day, like
Yeah,
Randy
I heard that
Harper's.
shit. Yeah.
That was
Pulling
because
some
Randy
bullshit.
Harper was doing a harassment speech at OzCon or something like that. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't think they were connected to any of these individuals. I think they just caught, a whiff of this ruckus and
Yeah.
wanted a speaker. Anyone who's just Google Gamergate for like 5 seconds without any actual research, they'll come probably to a similar conclusion to OzCon. So I don't fully blame them.
Yeah,
It is their fault in their own ignorance. They should have done more research, but they're not a researching firm. These are busy people too, right?
yeah.
What I hated was it's supposed to be a discussion, and I mean, it was open to discussion. But what they did is they blocked everyone, like GG Auto Blocker. They blocked everybody, and I believe, from what I learned yesterday, that it's supposed to be a place for open software
Yeah.
for developers. So that's something that I have personal interest in. So they blocked everybody while her speech was going on, and then as soon as it was done, it was unblocked. And I just checked, and it was unblocked. And it's like you literally just wanted to plug your ears just for her hour-long speech and then unplug them. And I thought
Yeah.
that was absurd, just to go to that great length just to do that. And just the pandering makes me so mad. So,
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, don't get me wrong there. I'm on board with that. I do remember because I couldn't sleep that day, so I was following the whole thing all day, and I remember somebody tweeted, you know what? It's almost not even worth mentioning, but Kieran Dave is one of the mod pack supervisor guys for the Yogscast for their Minecraft series.
okay.
Right, and he tweeted out in support of Randy, and he told the Gamergator to shut the fuck up or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe somebody else can figure this out for me. I don't know.
Someone from the Yogscast did that?
Yeah, somebody from the Yogscast tweeted out in support of the fact that we were ganging up on quote unquote ganging up on fucking Randy Harper, who's more than happy to do it to other people. But hey, it's not. There's no such thing as a bad tactic, right? Only bad targets.
God, oh my God! I actually want to get to that in a second, but
Oh yeah,
quickly, I wanted to say thank you to, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Dolor.
Dolor. Yeah.
Because in the chat he actually said what Nathan Grayson's connection was to Riot Games,
Yes,
so
I see that.
thank you for letting me know that. But yeah, if we go off topic at any point, the bad tactics thing, because there's a movie Bob thing I want to talk about just in the future after this.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
In the back of my head.
We should probably mention that before this one, before the next one, because we're going to be going right off topic with the next one, right? So,
Absolutely.
So if you actually want to cover that now, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, the only thing is you mentioned the bad tactics thing, and Movie Bob released his review on Pixels. This is super off topic, I realize what I'm saying it.
Oh yeah, no. I know. I'm familiar with what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
And it was so bothersome to me. It was so annoying because all these people, it was really popular, like that video, and I saw it all over my Facebook, and people were sending it to me and just not realizing it on my Facebook, being like, haha, look at this guy, he's so great. And I just had to like bite my tongue so I didn't sound like a jerk and be like, it's good.
Well, what I find is that a lot of people are wanting to go see Pixels to spite him.
Yeah, no, I
Right?
actually might see it tonight, to be honest.
Yeah. And you know what? To each their own, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to reserve. To me, it's not a movie worth seeing in the theater. I'll probably check it out when it hits, Netflix or some shit.
For me, it's I don't want to see it to spite him. It's actually like it doesn't look that awful to me, and I kind of I enjoy bad film. So just going for a laugh, the worse it is, the funnier it'll be to me, and I love films like that. So I'm like, I want to see this. This looks
You must
great.
really love Adam Sandler then.
Oh my God! Do you want to get in a conversation? We can talk about Adam Sandler, but
Fuck you. Hold on a second. Fuck you, Ro. Fuck you and your freaking cold military ass. Sorry.
Well, long story short, I was talking shit about Adam Sandler a while ago with my girlfriend, and then I'm like, I really like him in this movie, and this one. And then I realized, I'm like, oh god, I like 6 or 7 Adam Sandler films.
I like his 90s stuff. His 90s stuff is freaking fantastic.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then he just wanted money after that.
Billy Madison was probably one of my favorite movies, but
I
that
love
was
Little Nicky
because
so
I'm pretty sure it's because of the chick that played Veronica Vaughn or whatever the fuck her name is. She was Sonya Blade in the original Mortal Kombat movie, and I used to have a poster of her doing a high kick. I have good memories of me and that poster together.
Oh, dude.
Dude, I was like fucking 14 years old. What do you expect? Anyways, yeah.
This was before the internet, guys.
This was before the internet.
Posters was all you had.
Oh yeah.
Access internet.
Oh yeah. Back then, when we wanted porn, we had to fucking randomly come across them in a fucking ravine somewhere.
Oh, remember having to wait for JPEGs to load? Like 20
oh
minutes?
yeah, you're sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
I used to, you know what? I used to run a BBS way back in like 1994, 1995. And this is before like the web really took off and everybody had the internet, right? So you actually had to like dial other computers up and like play games and download files on their computer. And I remember sneaking my way onto an adult BBS.
Ooh.
You know? And then downloading stuff using my dad's account. It was great. Anyways, beyond that. Anyway, so hold on, let me just check. You know, I realize the best laid plans. I had actually planned to do another segment before we started talking about the articles, and I completely skipped by that. So we're just going to do this one last piece, and then we're going to go back and we're going to talk about GG and Vic and GG and BC.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay. All right. So this next article here. Now, okay. Before I go to the article, what I want to do specifically is it's the Gregory Alan Twitter Trial Support Fund. Okay. And I can't plug this enough because this guy is getting his ass handed to him for no fucking good reason.
Yeah.
You know, like he disagreed with some people over goddamn Twitter. Like he disagreed, and you can actually go back and read the tweets and stuff because he didn't have time to delete them before he was arrested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
None of them were offensive. None of them were like that. He hasn't been on a computer in 3 years now because of this trial, right? He's got some really serious legal fund issues going on. He needs $100,000. He's about $4,000 in, which is great, and people are like, the family is loving that, right? Absolutely loving that people are helping and how much support this guy has, right? Now Lauren Southern just recently did a live stream with the Rebel Media on talking to his son. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's this guy right here.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. And you know, and just hearing his son talk about it, I was like, my God, like this is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I'm totally going to shill my own site here, but
honestly, I think the woman who's doing all this should be put up for charges. This is ridiculous.
But here's the interesting thing. Now, if you go to the site here, I have a link, which was I originally found it through Bro Team Pill.
Right.
Right? He was tweeting about it, and there's a PDF here. Now, the PDF file is the actual Ontario Court of Justice between the Majesty Your Queen and Gregory Alan Elliot. And this is the written submissions of Mr. Elliot. Now, this is a very long read, or something like, 72 pages. But it has, like, quotes from the trial, quotes from all sorts of stuff. And some of it is so beyond the pale ridiculous. Some of the stuff that what's her name? Stephanie Guthrie was saying was so far beyond the pale that you actually have to read through this to get what he's going through right now, right? And it's so absolutely ridiculous. So I wanted to make sure that people knew that there is this support fund. If you can afford to give a few bucks, throw it. I'm sure they'll appreciate it because the guy does not deserve what he's getting. And it has very profound implications for free speech in Canada if he loses this case.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a question.
What's that?
I haven't been following this all that closely.
Okay.
What are the charges he's being brought up on?
Criminal harassment.
Criminal harassment.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did he show
Or
his dick?
disagreeing with a feminist, sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I think the main thing that happened was there was another person, a third party, that made that video game, the Flash game of like punching Anita Sarkeesian.
Yeah, Bendel and Spur. I actually spoke with him about why he created that game. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I haven't heard
did.
anything about him.
I did. I actually spoke with him on why he created that game. Let's see if I can.
Why does he need 100,000 in legal fees?
Actually, okay, let's cover that
If
question
you,
first here. 50,000 legal fees, and he owes a further 30,000. He's also not worked for the past 3 years because the guy's a graphic designer,
Right.
and he's not allowed to touch any internet-ready device, so he can't.
What?
Yeah. So like, he has not been able to work. He's not been able to do anything, and it's really ridiculous. So let me just give me.
So
a
this
second
woman is
here.
willing to destroy not just a man, but a family's life over
Yeah,
this
they don't care. It's Alder, I actually recommend to you that Lauren, you watch her full interview with their son because it's an hour long. It's really worth it. I listened to the whole thing. It will upset you so much.
I'll definitely have to watch it.
I recommend at least watching that and signing a petition if you agree that this man shouldn't be going through this because, he's a graphic designer, and pretty much he would have been in prison for 3 years if they didn't make it so he can't go on anything that's internet ready.
Yeah.
And, like, the son was like, that's absurd. And the lawyer's like, look, it's either this or he's in prison until the court date, which is, like, 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. So this is the tweet from Ben Spur, right, where I actually asked him. Now, he didn't want to talk to me at first because he had no idea who I was, and he thought that I might, he probably thought that I was, like, some feminist trying to trap him or some shit. You know what? I don't blame the guy. I don't blame him. Right? But look, so this is what he had to say. He says, the real reason is the same reason, this is why he made the game, right? The real reason is the same reason I made the beat-up Jack Thompson game. Spread awareness of a fraud attacking video games, right? And whether or not, I'm sure most people here will be of agreement that we, think that Anita Sarkeesian is a bit of a fraud. Regardless of whether you believe that or not, that's his reason for it. It's not misogyny. It's not to fucking, beat, like, I'm going to beat up a woman. That's not what it's about. And these people really need to stop using their identities as a form of defense against criticism.
Yeah. I mean, even if you disagree with somebody making a game like that, it's still not illegal, and it's still his freedom to do that. And I think that's probably part of the reason that he does it, to show that, like, they shouldn't have this much power to tell them that they shouldn't. And pretty much what these feminists were going to do is they were planning on, literally, they got together and they were talking about doxing Ben Spur here and getting his identity out. And all this guy did, the guy that's facing prison time and can't go on the internet, all he said was, like, you're insane. That's horrible. That's a horrible thing to do. And I find it really weird that they didn't go after Ben and say he was the one harassing, but I guess because this guy directly disagreed with them, they're like, oh, new target, this will be easy pickings. And
well, there's more to it as well, too, because Stephanie and Greg actually had met in person. They knew each other.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Okay.
Because originally Greg, it's all in the, whatchamacallit, in this, in the big thingy here. The written submissions of Mr. Elliot, right? It's all in there. They actually knew each other before. She was originally supposed to hire him to do some work for her.
Okay.
Right? And it wasn't until after the fact that he started actually, like, noticing the kind of things that she was saying, and, well, he would dispute it. He would, like, hey, what the fuck? Right? And so that was it. That was and that was about it there. But all right, so what do you got? You guys, let's get on some, more positive.
Yeah.
Oh, Ro's in here now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I warned everybody that Ro might be showing up. Hey, by the way, fuck you.
Good intro.
I know you like the pronged ones. What the fuck?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Ro was in the chat saying something about a freaking shape of dildo or something. I don't know.
Nice.
Well, it's your preference, man.
Yeah, but you know what? You're the one who asked me.
Just need some pointers, more experienced dudes.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to some actual some actual positive shit here. So just give me a second here. I'm just gonna make sure.
Oh, you're not prepared. Surprise.
Oh, hi, haha, fuck yourself. There we go.
Yay.
There we go. So we're gonna look over some of the pictures from Gigi in BC and Gigi in Vic, and we're going to make some commentary on this stuff, right? So this is obviously Jamie coming up to the place before anybody else had arrived.
Oh, that's actually not true already.
Oh, really?
And that's something I want to talk about if I can interrupt already.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So I believe, if I remember correctly, the start time was 5. I believe it was 5 till closing. And I was showing up there at about 4:50, 4:45, and as usual bar things go, I was expecting like everyone would come at 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy there at 3:30.
Oh my
who
God.
came from Seattle, and I was so excited,
wow.
and he was messaging me, really awesome guy. And
was
by
it
the time
the bigger guy with the beard?
that's what I'm talking about, and
Yeah, he was cool.
I do follow. He follows me, so I can maybe find his name quickly. But he was there like right away, and he was just waiting for people to get there. By the time I got there, which was like 4:50, there was already like 15, 20 people that were just excited and ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I had somewhat the opposite experience at GG and Vic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like it was probably about 5:10, 5:15 when there were more than 4 of us.
Yeah, well, you're
okay.
sitting there wringing your hands, worried that it fucking fell through.
Yeah, you were one of the first people to show up. Ro here was one of the first people to show up. So, yeah.
It's because I'm keen like that sometimes.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, no. So it was, it was really cool. We actually ended up both meetups ended up having way more people than we expected in the end, though.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked out in our benefit. Anyway, so I'm going to move on to the next picture here. I have no idea what the order of these pictures are. All I did was move the Victoria pictures at the end of the slideshow.
Okay.
Right. I need to move this thing out of the way in order to. There we go. Okay. What is this?
Oh, yeah, this was my failed attempt at doing something cool. So I wanted to do something a little bit extra of a surprise. So what my thought was I worked with the Mahoney & Sons, the person in charge of large events. And she's super, super, super awesome, by the way. If I can quickly shill Mahoney & Sons, I contacted about 40 places for our group, and it's like, I can't really charge money because I don't know who's going to show up. I need kids, and I need alcohol. And it needs to be a large place, which could be 12 people show up or 50 people show up. And so I contacted like 38, 39 people that like it just wouldn't work, like not at all. And then when I go for Mahoney & Sons, this woman's just like, yep, all good, you can come. No charge, no caveats, unless you want to have a special food menu in case of allergies. Kids can come. And I actually had to message her. I'm like, are you serious? Am I reading this wrong? Like, so amazing. And I actually contacted them recently again, and a complete long shot about doing a meetup for SPJ. And I'm like, look, we would need a stream. We'd need to be able to listen to it. And I'm like, super long shot. And she was like, yeah, what time? Unfortunately, we can't do it because it's Florida, Miami, and they don't open until like 1, which is like an hour left, because it starts like 7 a.m. for us. So I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, thank you so much. But like, she was even willing to do that, to have a stream on the internet shown for us if they opened early enough, but they don't. But
Nice.
Moral of the
Awesome.
story: everyone should go to Mahoney & Sons. Spend all your money there, all of it, your entire savings.
All of it.
Awesome,
Yeah,
chill place. So the thing about these shots, sorry, I ramble.
Yeah.
The thing about these shots, what I wanted to do was I contacted her, and I'm like, our character, without going into too much detail, I'm like, our character's colors are green and purple. Do you think we can do like a special shot and call it the Vivian James, so anyone can go to the bartender and ask for Vivian James? So she said yes, and I go, and the bartender's like, well, we can't really mix that. So he did that for me. I think it was like $8.50 or something, and you just ask for Vivian James, and you get that. And I got so much shit immediately because that looks more blue than purple. I'm like, guys, I'm not the one making the drinks, okay?
Oh, fuck
yeah. I
Well,
think I'm the only one that ordered it, but that was my little, like, kind of, here's my little thing to you guys.
You know,
I would have ordered it, but I'm not a big shot kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That could have been just like grape juice and sourpuss.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I saw it and I noticed it was blue as well. I'm like, well, thanks for trying, buddy. But
It's purple tint.
yeah,
You know.
it's alt Vivian.
every time I've drank in the past year or so, it's ended up in me puking. And usually Ro is there.
Oh yeah, wait. What was the last time you ended up?
Oh,
in your
when I ended up doing karaoke with a feminist.
Yep, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was great. And then we started talking about Gamergate from opposite ends of the thing. We're just, both of us are pissed drunk talking about Gamergate. I'm pro, he's anti, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is just gonna go bad.
Should have brought him on the stream. That would have been
Oh,
funny.
you know what? I bet you he would have come, because what it is he's an old buddy of mine. I had no idea he went full feminist, but he happened to be there, and he came up on stage. He's like, oh, let me join you. And I'm like, yeah, sure, come on up. But yeah, let's just say that didn't go over so well. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the next here. Oh, one thing I did want to mention, though, is I did hear about the Vivian James drink.
That's right. An auntie actually.
An anti from an auntie who was bitching about it.
I wanted us to notice it, and the one person that notices it is fucking auntie.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were all like, "Oh, that's sick! How dare they make a shot of Vivian and all this?" And it's like,
yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next picture here. Okay, this is False Creek.
Mm-hmm. This was our view.
That was the view from GG in BC, the Vancouver meetup, and that's False Creek. There, it would be more towards like the more wealthy people living there, I guess. Yaletown and what? No, this isn't Yaletown, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm so bad with like locations.
Okay,
it's Stamps Landing. What it is.
Well, there's a bunch of fucking boats here, so let's just go next.
Near Science World.
Right, here we go. Interestingly, now this guy here, apparently, one of my coworkers knows him.
Really?
Yeah, and it was funny. She was just like, I don't want to say the guy's name on stream, obviously, but she was just like, oh my god, I know him. Oh my god, that's my friend from Nanaimo. And I'm like,
yeah.
Cool. That's cool. And then I actually had her verify it by sending him a message on Facebook saying, actually, it's about ethics in games journalism. And he came back with something about, like, actually, it's about the black hole in Ben Kuchera's ass or something. I don't know. Something like that. Anyways, it was great. I was like, yeah, that was awesome. But, yeah, so apparently he was there. And then we got you looking like Spock.
I'm trying to look all suave.
You're trying to look like Spock, and then this guy...
I'm not
I
sure
like
who
the
that
photo
is.
bomb.
Yeah.
The photo bomb.
The photo bomb. Yeah, totally. All right.
All these have a story, actually, and if I can quickly say the reason.
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Feel free to shut me up. But the reason I took this was I had a lot of requests for different things, and Remy, her name is at Remy Pun X, who's very programmed. Yeah. She asked me, she's like, get lots of photos, Jamie, like, get tons and tons of photos. And I'm like, for you, I will. And very early on, and that's what this photo was, like, everyone was kind of shy and really, like, kept in. And so I tweeted out, I'm like, guys, take selfies, let's get this going, let's be jerks. And I talked to him, the guy on the left, who's so awesome, and I'm like, take a selfie with me. And he's like, you want me to get people taking photos? And I'm like, please. And he's like, for you, I will. So we take one photo, and like he comes back to me like an hour and a half later. He's like, I got photos with everyone. It's all going on the tag. So,
nice.
Yeah, really awesome, dude. He was definitely one of the lives of the party.
Yeah.
Really
Well,
cool.
most of these are Jamie's pictures here, but I did grab a couple off of the tag before the stream. So
There was a couple of good ones on the tag. That's all I retweeted, really. I didn't.
Well, I know you're in one of them, Alder. I know you're in one of them. Ro and I are suspiciously absent from all of them, though.
Hey, man, there's no pictures of me anywhere, so...
Oh, well, yeah, but that was on purpose. He actually wanted to be in pictures, but the timing was just bad. Anyways,
Yep.
we'll move on. Okay, so here's the actual inside of the place. So is there a story here, or you just wanted to show
The only
place?
thing was, like, I had a lot of people come to me beforehand, and they were worried, like, they didn't want to be shown on camera, and for all very valid reasons, so I was kind of nervous at first. So I was telling people to take selfies, and I wanted to take photos. Eventually, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to take photos, I don't care. But,
I didn't care.
I just took a photo of this at the top just to kind of show people on the tag and try not to get people apart from the bartender. But eventually, I give up and just take photos of people.
Okay. All right, so we'll go next here, and obviously this is the Honey Badger's merch pile. There's an otter.
Mm-hmm. Otter Jesus.
Our otter Jesus.
Yeah.
I believe this is Allison, because I remember her tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, there we
That's
go.
awfully creepy of you.
What's that? Hey, man. I was hanging out with them
Is this
for
a scratch and
hours.
sniff picture as well?
I was hanging out with them. Shut the fuck up. I was hanging out with them for like fucking 4 or 5 hours the night before GG and Vic, right? So I actually got to, like, I got into some pretty good conversations. I got to know them pretty well, and I violated 3 of them.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
And then I violated a 4th the next night. It was great.
Oh, The only thing about this photo I want to say is shout out to Otter Jesus, because I didn't know until actually planning event that like I saw everyone have like the exact same Otter plushie, and I was like, are people just buying those themselves? And he's actually sending them to like almost all the meetups, and he contacted me directly, and he was like, "And either one of you guys buy them, and or if not, I'll send them." So he actually sent this one to the honey badgers, and so he's just been buying like 6 or 7 of them just so he can have his own representation at every single event, which is so awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Actually, I'd get one if I had the extra cash for that. I definitely would. Actually, one thing I did want to bring up was, here's an actual picture of me violating them. If you you can probably see what I mean by violation with what's in her hand there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, okay, there we go. We'll leave it at that, though. Okay, all right. So next, there. What is with this dude?
I don't know who he is, but I thought that was awesome.
He's very red.
Yeah, I don't know. That was very awesome.
Yeah, I bet you the bar staff was like,
Oh yeah. They
no.
seemed actually pretty cool and laid back.
Okay. Well, I can I can understand the guy doesn't want to appear on camera. That's fine, right? There's actually here's Q. He's from the Victoria meetup. Yeah,
Okay.
He came out from Victoria, so I've been actually hanging out with him quite a bit lately. He's a pretty cool guy, and I only say that because I know he's going to watch the stream later. So.
You can see Lauren as well there. And
Now this,
Lauren.
this is a panoramic shot, right? Now
This is my attempt at one, yeah.
Yeah. So we can see that Allison's arm has been cut off and replaced with whatever the hell that is, But like the rest of this is okay, but it wasn't until I got over here that I was like, "What the fuck?"
So I know what happened, because I took this, and I mean, if anyone's taken like the iPhone Android panoramic shot, if anyone's moving, it messes up, and that person like got right in front of my camera and ducked quickly, and so that caused that.
That looks like that old Muppet Phenomena.
Yeah.
It looks like a Phenomena alien.
I actually think that might be Anna with her.
I think it is actually Anna because she was wearing a Vivian James costume at Gigi and Vic, but it looks like from some of these pictures here, I see her dressed as Anita Sarkeesian as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So she went and changed. What's that?
Do you have those photos?
I think I might.
Okay.
I'm gonna move on here. So this is
That's
a
my
panoramic
favorite
shot.
photo.
So how many people showed up again?
Well, I was talking with the guy that showed up very early, and I don't know if he's exactly accurate or anything, but I saw some people say 90. I saw he said about 120, and you can see it stretches all the way to the back there.
Yeah.
And at its peak, I'd say maybe even in total, and although you can probably comment because you were there for the whole night as well, it was definitely like 90, 100 people, I'd say, like in and out.
It was a lot of people, confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot more than I expected, and that made me super happy because I was panicking right up until it was packed and I couldn't move.
Yeah. So, but you ended up with a hell of a lot more than I expected. Like even the Victoria meetup, we were expecting less than 20. I was expecting about 15 people, but it ended up being 22.
Yeah. And yours was like really quickly, like emergency, get this together kind of thing. So.
Oh
really awesome.
yeah. That was you know what? It wasn't as hard. It wasn't so hard because a lot of people wanted to go to the same place that the previous organizer had wanted to set up.
Okay.
Right, so we just went with that, and I talked to them, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, cool," and found out that the previous organizer had canceled it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
But then I came in and said, "Well, actually, no, we'd like to do that. I'm just in charge now." So,
Nice.
yeah. So,
Yes. One of the things we learned from that one is we have to go to a place with alcohol next time.
Yeah. Karen was very adamant about that. She's just like, if ever you plan a future event and I'm going to be there, make sure it's a licensed establishment. And I'm like,
Oh, there's no alcohol in your place?
there was no alcohol at Interactivity, which is the board game cafe we all met in. And honestly, future reference, we're not going to do it there. The reason being is, honestly, the staff there was great. They were totally understanding. They were totally willing to help us out. But there's not much room.
Okay.
Right. And for 15 people, it would have been great. We could have taken 2 tables, but we ended up being 22 people, and a lot of people showed up that did not RSVP, and so So that basically that's what happened there. But we ended up moving along to another place, which is actually one of the staff members of this other place happened to be there to meet Karen and to meet the honey badgers, right? And so she managed to get that done perfectly, and then we ended up going down to like a last minute group of 22 people went to this like licensed restaurant, which was funny because while we were downstairs, there was a gay pride, women's only gay pride party going on upstairs. Right. So
right. Yeah. That's
yeah. So we're looking over and we're like, what's going on upstairs? Then I'm seeing a lot of like the stereotypical butch haircuts, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm
imagining like you
safe
guys
here?
just walking. I don't know why, but I imagine you just walking at each other, like snapping and just like doing like the 50s, like you're gonna fight kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of leather.
Oh wow.
Well, what ended up happening is we actually did it like in West Side Story, where we're all facing off each other, snapping.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
Oh my God.
But no, it was actually it was pretty good. There were some people there for gay pride and fucking and it was totally fine. I'm pretty sure a lot of them would have flipped out if they found out there's a bunch of like prominent MRA honey badger people downstairs, but but that didn't happen, thankfully. So we moved along. But anyway, so we're gonna go next. Oh, we got Otter, Jesus, and the honey badger.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a photo of them two together.
Yeah, they're
for
friends.
Andrew.
They're friends now. They're friends. All right, next. Okay. And I know what see,
I got a
now,
story for this one. You got a story for this one.
Okay, all right, okay. I'll start and then you can finish. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So when I found out I wasn't able to make it to GG and BC, I was really disappointed because I wanted to meet everybody, but very specifically, I wanted to meet Lauren because she is my waifu.
Don't blame ya.
You know. Anyways, all right. So Jamie can continue with this now. So that,
Yeah. So EJ kept bugging me like relentlessly on Skype, and he was like, "I need a photo of Lauren saying I love you," and I didn't question it, but he kept saying it so much that I'm like, "Shit, I gotta do this for him."
Nice.
And so I wasn't really sure. He said I love you, and it was. I don't know, it was a few hours in, and I was speaking like in a group with Astray, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Astray, Aldershot, and Ricewind, I believe is that name? That's correct, right, Alder?
Yeah, I believe that's right.
Ricewind, yeah, and I was talking with him, and I'm like, oh my god, I have respect for Lauren. It's super weird. I don't want to go up and ask her for this like weird photo, but I gotta. And it turns out, not to my knowledge, but Ricewind actually like knows her, like actually
really?
knows her in person. And so he goes off, and like 20 minutes later, Lauren taps me on the shoulder, and she's like, "Jamie, I'm not a feminist. You can ask me for a photo if you want a photo." And like my face, like I just feel me just flush red. I'm like, "Okay, well it's not for me," and I'm like trying to explain it. But
nice.
I was so embarrassed, but yeah, no, she's such an awesome person.
Oh,
man.
she really was. She was such a joy to meet and to talk to.
Oh,
and
I'm
all that
jealous.
stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
as soon as she was there, everyone swarmed her, and I didn't actually get to say that much to her. Like, I wanted to just hang out with her and like talk about everything, but like, so did everyone there.
Yeah, like
So,
Yeah, wow.
it was awesome.
Okay. So I did specifically what I wanted to do is I wanted a picture of her with saying "I love you" in sign language, right? In American Sign Language. Now, a lot of people don't realize this. Ro probably does, but a lot of people don't realize that my parents are deaf.
Oh, really?
Right. I grew up the only child in a deaf family, and
That's news to me.
What's that?
That's news to me.
Oh, you know that?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, you've never met my parents, so that would do it. But anyways, yeah. So I wanted her doing the American Sign Language version of "I love you," which is actually it's with your little finger, your index finger, and your thumb stretched out while your other two fingers are down. That's the "I love you" signs. But
Me and her did not know that.
I got something even better, and that was this. Look, the look on her face is just great. I love it. She's so cute.
So now, instead of a Sonya Blade in your room, you have these photos up there.
No, you know what? You know what? You know what though? Maybe if she was doing a high kick or something. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I love you, Lauren. I'm dearly not queerly. Okay. And then so yeah, I guess she was trying to do I love you.
Yeah.
That's how it went. I love you. Yeah. And then okay, so here's Anna.
This is my favorite photo of the whole night. And I'm surprised how much this got retweeted. But as soon can I just say, as soon as she came out, and she told us later she was super worried about this actually, but as soon as she changed, because she was gone for like 45 minutes and we couldn't find her, Anna Cherry. And we were like, where'd she go? And like the honey badgers didn't know. Then all of a sudden she walks back in, and we're all having a huge conversation, right? Like 100 of us or whatever. She walks in, full Anita garb, and everyone just starts cheering and clapping. And it's like, she didn't know if she'd get booed or whatever. Like, but yeah, everyone's just like, yeah, and cheering. And I go to her and I'm like, we need to do the Joss Whedon pose.
Yes.
We need to do that. And like, I mean, everyone knows what that is when Anita posed with Joss Whedon, and they're like fighting the patriarchy.
We're fighting the patriarchy.
Yeah.
She came in originally as Vivian James as usual, right?
Yeah.
But what was funny was when she came in as Anita Sarkeesian, the whole ruckus, with the cheering and the clapping and all that stuff happened. But there was more people asking for photos, including myself, after when she changed into Anita, which I found was kind of hilarious.
I my only regret is that the photo is not like amazing quality, because I absolutely love this photo of us, it's so fucking awesome. That's all I can say.
Awesome. See, unfortunately, I was so like, you can ask Ro. I was running around with like a chicken with its head cut off at the Vic meetup,
Right.
and
it was more like you were petrified.
Yeah, well, I was worried, man. I was worried. I'm like, oh god, there's all sorts of things that could have gone wrong. Thankfully, none of them did, except that I brought my camera with me and didn't use it once.
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah, I brought my camera with me, didn't use it once because I was so like, is everything okay? Is everything going on all right? Oh, fuck, shit,
Sounds about right, considering your expectations for an SJW to show up.
Yeah. Well, no, I was like, I didn't think they would, but I was prepared if they would.
Okay.
Is what it was, right? The only picture I ended up taking that night was this one, right? Which actually these two, was this girl at the BC meetup as well?
Yeah,
she was. Okay.
It's hard to recognize her right now with her eyes closed. And
I recognize her. She was cool.
Yeah. She was very high energy. Very high energy.
She was.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was cool. Where was I here? This back. Okay, so we're gonna move on here.
That was my final kind of thing. That was like at 2 a.m. and that was
it's after Jenny showed up, obviously.
Yeah, so Jenny and the EXP team showed up.
I'm so disappointed in that.
They felt bad and they want to do something, so hopefully we can do something soon. But,
well, I definitely am interested in setting up another another GG and BC kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
I want to meet you guys, for Christ's sake.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've talked about it, and like, I honestly, like, I hate repeating. Like, I don't want to repeat, but I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be than that place because it was so good.
Yeah.
It was just like, and like I said, I contacted like 40 other places, and this was the one that worked flawlessly, and it was great, and it was a huge space, and it was beautiful. The one complaint I heard, which I knew going in, was food was a bit pricey. Like, it is kind of like an Earl's Cactus Club kind of. It's like a fancier-ish restaurant.
Okay.
But I mean, what I get for that is like there's no caveats, so you guys can spend as little as you want.
Yeah,
so,
that's
like,
true. That's true.
No entrance fee. There was no minimum buy or anything like that.
Yeah, there was not even a what is it called when a waiter like just automatically adds the tip or whatever. There was none of that. Gratuity. Yes. There was none of that. Super laid back. You just have to deal with the fact that you're pretty much dining at a fancier restaurant, which I think is kind of cool.
I think if we did this again, we might actually think to like do a little bit of a fundraising for it and actually get like rent a hall or something. Mm-hmm. And get some catering maybe.
That would be really cool. And I'm definitely
that'd be really expensive, man.
Yeah, but like if it's crowdfunded by the lot of us, I mean,
we can do it so that it's. I mean, now we can talk about it later, but
exactly. We'll discuss that off camera.
Yeah.
Is there any events coming up? Any geek events, cons, et cetera,
well,
concerts?
I know we're having an AirPlay watching party here in Vic.
Right. A what?
We're gonna meet up. I think tentatively either at my place or at Q's place and watch the AirPlay live stream.
I'm very tempted to go.
Yeah,
I'm jealous because I'm gonna have to watch that on my lonesome.
Yeah, well, it's at 7 a.m. for Christ's sake. So I mean,
Oh man, I'm not doing that.
yeah, exactly right. So it's probably going to be more of like a freaking we'll watch it in the morning, or we'll stay up all night partying and then fucking watch it. You know?
It'd be like Saturday morning cartoons.
Partying, we won't wake up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, unless you stay up all night, you know.
It can just be like Saturday morning cartoons. We'll grab our cereal instead of watching like Animaniacs or whatever. We get to watch like journalistic ethics. There we go.
Dude, I am so curious to know where Gamergate's going to go after this SPJ thing. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is nothing. Gamergate's going to change, or it's not going to change," and like.
Wait, that thing's still going through?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I agree with that sentiment that Gamergate's probably not going to change from what it is today, but it is still a really, really major point of happenings, of events within Gamergate. Curious to know how it's going to affect it.
Well, it's like anything else, right? It's going to be up in the air until it actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
I know a lot of people, like, I mean, me included, I think very much in video game terms, and I know a lot of Gamergate does as well. Like, a lot of people are treating this as endgame. This is the final boss in a lot of people's eyes.
No,
I don't agree with that, but I understand it. I just don't want people to get their hopes up too much.
Well, it's like what I was saying earlier about it's no longer a consumer revolt. It's now a subculture, right? Yeah. Here's the thing.
You're going to get debates on that, by the way.
Oh, absolutely, and by all means, I welcome it. Right? But the reality is that we're not giving up, and the only way that something will die is if we give up. And I don't care. Like I've seen us down in the dumps. I've seen all sorts of stuff, but we've never given up.
I don't know. Let me ask you guys a question then. What would be endgame for you guys as a Gamergate supporter? What would be the big event that'll say, okay, I'm done. My job is complete.
Can we take turns on this? Because
yeah.
it's a deep question.
Yeah, this is a big question.
I obviously have my own ideas, but go ahead.
Well, I would say that public apologies are issued.
Yeah.
Public apologies issued, and adherence to the ethical policies that they've supposedly instituted, and acceptance that Gamergate will exist as a watchdog group.
Right.
That's where I see endgame, and it's not even endgame. That's a whole new beginning.
How about Ro? He's new. He hasn't said too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, for me, I think Gamergate's done what it's going to do, and right now I believe it's going to go into another avenue where we're trying to get rid of the whole PC culture going on in like the entertainment world and whatnot. So that's where I think it's going to go to next. That's where it's seeming it's going to right now.
Yeah.
Interesting. How about you, Jamie?
I don't know if it's going to be popular, but what I think's going to happen, and this is just like up in the air, it's nothing like for sure, is Total Biscuit said something I think back in October that was when the fight's over, is something super paraphrasing, but when the fight's over, you're going to see that eventually all that's left is trolls. And I had this conversation actually at GG&BC, and I do think like we're going to keep doing what we've been doing right now, and that's I agree with what Sargon's video Gamergate has won, where it's like all our initial goals complete, mission complete, and now we're a watchdog group, and now like you see us getting mad more at entertainment culture in general. Like I can't tell you nothing. I don't think anything's made me more angry, even though gaming is my number one love. Nothing's made me more angry than the Batgirl cover. And I mean, I don't want to go off topic on that, but
oh man, I could go on that too.
Yeah, no, Batman's my one love. But anyway, just to continue, that's what we are at right now. I feel like I don't know. I can't tell you how long it's going to be. It could be months. It could be years. But I do think eventually, all that's left will be people shitposting. I've already noticed it with a lot of people. A lot of people are getting burnt out, and they're wanting to move away. I mean, even Oliver wanted to move away. And even if you don't move away, you kind of just talk to your followers rather than talk to Gamergates. But I think we're still strong right now. I just think long term, we'll leave with friends. We're going to leave with colleagues, networks, and it'll be a positive thing overall, but it will eventually dwindle out. That's until the next big thing happens, right?
Yeah.
So as long as they keep pissing us off, we're going to keep going. And I noticed this as well. Like I'm rambling now, but every time you see us like drop, like every time it seems like, hey, look, we have peace. We're just playing video games. Then all of a sudden something huge comes up and they censor something else, or they piss us off.
Rebel.
Exactly. And it just blows back up, and it's all they got to do is they just got to stop pissing us off.
Yeah.
And stop trying to censor
Well,
shit.
here's the thing. The one thing that I will say is that, you know, we have the right to piss anybody off. They have the right to piss us off, right?
I agree, but it's going to keep us alive.
Exactly, right? But the more they piss us off, the more we're going to, you know, rabble back, you know. So there definitely is that element of Gamergate, you know, that does that.
For me,
yeah, and now for you, yes.
for my end game, like mine's a little bit different from everyone else. Like the whole SJW thing, you know, I'm with you. I'm anti-censorship, you know. And as far as the culture war is concerned, I'm on your side. But all honesty, guys, in all honesty, I just joined Gamergate for the ethics and for the video games. Here's what I want to see, right? Like I don't even care about the whole social justice culture war thing, right? You guys take care of that. Kudos, all that. I want to see the gaming press industry completely go for what's that word I'm looking for? Restructuring.
Reform.
A complete
rebranding.
Reform. Everything, not rebranding, but like a restructure from the inside out. Because here's the thing, right? When I was growing up with Nintendo Power and Game Pro and all this stuff, these were magazines in Game Informer. These were industries that were employed by enthusiasts, by fans of video games, by people who love video games, not just understanding games, but not just having a journalist degree, but these people genuinely loved and were enthusiastic about video games, right? And that doesn't exist anymore. The gaming press are not enthusiasts of gaming anymore. I want gaming press to be enthusiasts again. I want it to be an enthusiast career again instead of just a career.
I think, I absolutely agree with you. I think that there is obviously crossover between the cultural aspect to it and the ethics and games journalism, because they have created this kind of like artificial indie scene.
Yeah.
You know, like the indie scene it's very artificial. It's very like, oh, these are my friends and my roommates, and you know. Yeah, and I have I take great issue with that, because like I have issues with nepotism. I have issues with cronyism, right? And that's what I saw coming out of that, and that's what I really did not like, because it was almost creating like a new barrier. Now, like, okay, to be indie, like I'm an author of a indie book, right? Or actually, a couple of them. I've written a couple novels, but I self-published them and I created them. Shill. I'm shilling. I don't shill. It's not shilling until I name the book.
I can.
Link the Amazon page.
You know, I actually prefer smash words. I make more money off of the sales there.
Oh my god.
But where was I going with this? But like, because I'm an independent creator, and I think Ro, I think you can jive with me a little bit on this too, because you're an independent artist, right? Is if you have that barrier for something that shouldn't be barriered, like I should be able to write this and then put it out there, and automatically I'm part of the indie scene. But now they're gatekeeping the indie scene, and that is wrong. That's not right. That is saying that, like, now, you know, like...
Hold on now. To be fair.
Okay.
They're gatekeeping the institutionalized segments of the indie scene. Okay? There's a difference. Because I know a lot of indie developers. I talk to them on a daily basis, and they have nothing to do with that indie clique that you're talking about. Absolutely nothing to do with them. In fact, they are the majority of the indie scene. But you don't hear about them, because the institution don't publicize about them.
Exactly, and that's the issue, is that the media only covers this small, loud minority. And I mean, if you listen to Edmund McMillan and his whole talk on it, and his talk on Phil Fish and everything he's talking about, it's like, holy shit.
DJ Fish.
Yeah,
DJ Fish, I saw those pictures.
But like, even him, who is so huge, and I think he's actually probably my favorite indie developer, just hearing him talk about it and hearing him talk about the clique, and it's like, how did you fucking get successful having to deal with that shit? Because like, Phil Fish tried to sabotage him and all this, and just absurd.
There is really smart indie studios now, and unfortunately people don't even consider them indie because they don't follow the similar kind of business plan or similar kind of appeal, right? It doesn't appeal to the same audience that you would stereotypically think indie for. But let's say Ark, Survival Evolved, or
Yeah,
That game looks really cool.
it's fantastic. I'm addicted to it. But anyways,
wow.
Killing Floor is very indie, technically, but you wouldn't know it.
exactly, Killing Floor, and also another one, Rocket League. Right? These are all indie titles.
That
but
game's awesome.
these people have bypassed the indie clique, the indie institution, by
Okay.
going straight to streamers and YouTubers. Right? And they were smart about it. And they know what gamers want. Like, they built a game with an understanding of their audience.
Yeah.
Right? And they made sure the product is of quality before they gave it to these streamers and YouTubers. And that was their secret to success, and it's been working out absolutely fantastic for them.
Yeah, you look at Killing Floor, and what's the first thing they do? They do a promotion with Total Biscuit, and
Yeah.
I'm sure, I haven't looked at the sales myself, but I'm sure that did not hurt them. So
No.
Not at all.
All right, well let's go through the rest of these pictures here because we actually do have some more. So
Bit of a
next,
tangent we had.
yeah, it's okay. It was a good tangent though. It's a good tangent. All right, so merch. We're shilling for the Honey Badgers now.
this was a prize. This made me so happy, and I was taken aback from this. Was Allison actually went to me and was like, she just goes up, and I mean, you guys know Allison. She just goes up without even talking to me, holds up a shirt to me, and she's like, "Yep, this will fit you." And I'm like, "Oh, here, let me grab you some money." And she's like, "No." And she's like, "Here, stay right here. I'm gonna get everyone to sign it for you." And she's like, "Sorry for any like crap that happened with setting us up. I know it's stressful, and I want to do this for you." And it was
Oh, wow.
like, I was so happy, and I did not thank her enough. So again, if she's listening, probably not. She's probably busy, but thank you again. That was so humbling and awesome of her. I have it hung up right next to my Rob Zombie signed shirt, so that's
Nice.
how important the shirt is. Just as
Nice.
important as Rob Zombie to me. So.
Yeah, you know what? Like, just actually, it's funny because one of the things I noticed when I was hanging out with him is that Mike is the only one even close to me in height.
Oh yeah.
It was on the stream. They all gave me a group hug, and I'm like, "Holy crap! I am like a foot taller than all of you."
I feel like Gandalf with the hobbits, pretty much. Like.
Yeah, pretty much.
No,
Mike,
Kieran's pretty
Dr.
tall, isn't
Randomer
she?
Cam. He was the only one that was close to me. What's that?
Karen's pretty tall, isn't she? She's taller than I am, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
she's
To
still-
me, everybody looks short. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
How's the weather up there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done telling bad jokes now.
All right.
I love that joke. It's all good.
Okay, so hold on. Let's go to the next one here. So yeah, more merch. There's Hannah. We got Rachel in the background. There's that guy again.
That guy.
That guy again. That looks like you over there, Jamie. Some bald dude right here.
That's me. Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So this was Anna's costume at GG and Vic as well.
Yeah, that's her
Right.
famous one.
It was kind of funny because when she walked into interactivity, one of the owners, or not the owners, facilitators, the staff, he comes up to me. He's just like, "What are you guys all here for anyway?" So I try. So I'm trying to explain it to him, and he's just like, because he's looking at them, and he's looking at Shiva here with his black painted fingernails,
Right.
and he's just like, "Yeah, because like I hate to." She looks kind of like a porn star, and I'm like,
You'd be right, sir.
she actually is a porn
She
star,
actually
and
is.
she's like, "Oh my god!" Right? And then he was asking about Karen, like who Karen was, because like everybody was like swarming Karen too, right?
Right.
Karen and Allison, and I was explaining who they are, and he's like, "Oh, really interesting. Okay, this is kind of cool. Okay, neat." But you know what? They never said anything untowards about it. They never said any. I explained. I was completely truthful with them on who we were and what we were all about, right?
Did you tell them we're a misogynist group out to harass women?
I told them that we had that claim made about us. They
Right.
didn't. They
Fame to
didn't-
fame.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit. They did not give a shit. They didn't
Yeah, I
care
didn't
one
think
bit, right?
Right.
Anyway, so we're gonna move on here.
Most people are pretty apathetic about this whole Gamergate thing. I'll be
Oh
totally
yeah,
honest.
it's when like Cluey on that David Pacman live stream or whatever
Oh
it was.
God.
When he said, "Oh, there's only two types of people. There's Gamergate, and then there's the rest of the world who's against Gamergate." And it's just
It's not
like,
true. The rest
Dude,
of the world don't give
there's
a
three
fuck.
types. There's Gamergate, those against Gamergate, and the rest of the world who don't give a fuck.
Most of my friends who I talk to who is apathetic on the subject are like, "Why are you still talking about this? Go back to hating on EA. It was less annoying."
Yeah.
Hey, we'd like to, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing, and
Yeah.
I'm get my girlfriend that has to listen to this constantly and this be my whole life. And like
Right.
my best friend, Charisma, she's very involved in this as well. I've been friends with her since like grade 1. So
Charisma, I think I know who you're talking about. She's on Twitter, isn't she?
yeah,
she's
Yeah. She seems pretty cool.
She's very awesome.
Yeah.
Best friend for a long time, and I mean, every time we hang out with my girlfriend now, we're just like fucking SJWs, like constantly. And my girlfriend's like, my girlfriend is the one that's like, I just want to play video games.
I just want to play video games.
Can we just play video games?
No.
That's my girlfriend. Is she understands, but she'd rather just play
Well,
games.
I think it's very
Fun.
similar with my daughter. Like, she understands all this,
Mhm.
right? And she is she's actually, I would actually go so far as to say she's a little bit more anti-feminist than I am.
She's
Oh,
18,
wow.
right? So she should be pretty clear-headed about these kind of subjects.
What? Sorry, say that again.
I said she's 18, isn't she?
Yeah.
She should be pretty clear on the subject. I'm
Oh,
sure
she knows.
kids are talking about
She
it.
knows what's going on. Like, this is the issue with her freaking teacher, her creative writing teacher,
Oh, I
who would
see.
not let her. She wanted to do an essay because she had to do a freeform essay, and she wanted to do it on Shakespeare. And then her teacher came up and said, only if you talk about how racist and sexist he was.
Oh, that's
And
great.
Wow.
and she was like, "What?" Like,
That isn't dictatorial at all.
I would even talk to her. I'm like, I don't think she's allowed to say that. I don't think she's allowed to do that. If it's a free form essay, it's on your choice.
Absolutely.
You can freaking have it on anything, you know.
Technically, I could write about Hitler being a really nice guy and no one talking about it. I mean, I would agree with my own writing, but
Yeah.
I could.
Yeah.
You know, just
That's
saying.
going to be
But-
taken out of context.
Oh yeah, no. Jenny McDermott's going to be on the stream any second now. Oh God, I just don't say her name 2 more times. We might summon her. All right, so I'm going to go next photo here. This guy has the most epic beard. Like, Teddy Bear was talking about gingers, man. I dare you to go up against this guy, Teddy.
I ended up talking to him for most of the party.
Yeah?
For a lot
Really?
of the
How was
party.
he?
He's a really cool dude. He's a fucking stunt driver for BC,
Oh,
like movies
what?
and stuff like that.
Oh, you know what? I bet you
Yeah.
anything. Him and I might know some of the same people.
Probably, but he's
Interesting.
like a stunt driver. He's done big movies and
Okay.
TV shows. I don't remember anything specific now that I think about it. But
Yeah, well, because I work with a guy who used to be a stunt driver for
Right.
BC film industry. Like, I've got my IATSE certification as well, right? Like, I can legally work in the film industry
Right.
here, right? Or not certification, my union membership, but and that's how I actually know some prominent agros is because of that, right? So
me and this
Nepotism.
guy,
Nepotism.
actually, we red pilled a couple of bro dudes out when we were having a smoke.
some bro dudes. You mean
Yeah.
bros?
Well, the BC meetup, right? That was happening same time that there was a wedding party.
Oh,
what,
okay.
what happened?
Oh, I got to hear the story.
And the wedding, like, there was, these are just average everyday bros and sisters and all that stuff, right? But these 2 guys came out. They were total bro dudes. You know what I mean, right? Like, sports fans and hooray, hockey and all that kind of stuff. You get what I'm saying, right? But they didn't have any idea what this Gamergate thing was. And one guy was bummed the smoke off of me, so we ended up talking with our bearded friend here. And he asked us about, us and what Gamergate is and all that stuff. And we went into detail about it, and he still didn't understand it. Right?
It's hard to understand. Yeah, you got to be kind of into it.
It is,
Beginning,
but
yeah.
I try to use examples that he might have been more familiar with. But at the end of the day, I just basically said, well, he asked, is it an anti-feminist thing? That was his quote. Is it an anti-feminist thing? I said, technically not, but kind of yes.
It kinda,
good
yeah.
enough. Kind of good enough.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well, there's definitely there's the pro-feminist contingent of Gamergate, and they're by all means.
I find that hilarious that a dude bro would ask that.
Why?
I do, bro. Is it anti-feminist?
Let's see, why would it be funny that a dude bro asked that? Let's see, what are their main goals in life?
Getting all the
Doesn't make
achievements in
sense.
Madden.
Fuck bitches and get money, right?
Pretty much. It was like one of those kind of guys. I mean, he was a perfectly fine dude, right? Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah.
cool, okay.
When you're just hanging out with the smoke, the things that will come out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
One of my best friends came to me the other day, and I mean, this has been my life for the past 10, 11 months now, and I'm just talking casually, and then I realize he's never heard what Gamergate is, and I just like kind of facepalm. I'm like, oh dear God! And my friend loves politics. He loves all that stuff. He's a very intelligent guy, and he's like, tell me everything.
Oh,
And I
nice.
like immediately get a headache. But I'm like, I just sent him all the links, and I actually sent him like anti-links as well. So I'm like, you can make up your own mind. And like a week later, he's like, I watched everything, I read everything, and he hugs me, and he's just like, the power. He's like, the power of nerds. It's unstoppable. And it's like he's a geek as well. He's more of a like book geek, and yeah.
So we've got
really
another dozen pictures or so to get through here.
Oh,
guys. So
God,
we should
okay.
probably start like, okay, more merch. Okay, that's good. Yeah, good. I love the look on Karen's face.
Someone tried to meme that actually.
It's like just the look at the Anna's like just like totally creeping her. Like, you know that Anna's hand is up her ass or something. Like it's just
That's probably what's going on.
you know, Hannah's looking all innocent over here. You know, like it's just sorry. Anyways, you know, and then this guy just smiling.
Somebody actually did meme that. Like they cropped out Karen's face and put it on everyone else's into photos.
Oh yeah, I saw
It was
that. I saw that.
hilarious.
I didn't see that
Okay.
one actually. I just saw it say
so
triggered
good.
underneath.
Okay, so
So
these
good
next
stuff.
pictures I think are more of Lauren. Yep. Okay. I love her facial expressions. I don't know why. She always like does this like
Right.
like a
You
kind
gotta-
of her own little derp face, you know?
Mhm.
As a puppy dog.
Feeling
look to
impressed.
it.
There it is again. And there's Honey Badgers plus Lauren and this guy. And this guy.
Red face.
Red face. He's like the reject from the Blue Man Group. He's also, was he dressed like a chauffeur?
I heard some people say that. I'm not sure. I need to look it up, but I'm pretty
Okay.
sure like if you find him on Twitter, that's like his art of it. So
Oh,
oh,
here we
there's
go.
you.
Here we go. There's Alder.
That's not me. What are you talking about?
Is
I
it?
don't know who that guy
You
is.
just hold on. Oh, no, I can't read it. I can't prove whether or not that is you or
I'm
not.
pretty sure this is. Here's your
proof.
address, and here's your list of fears.
Okay, all right. I can't prove it, but either way, you know, there's that. Just blurry picture with like Lauren and a bunch of people. There's the Zick. He's from GG and Vic too as well. He's met him a couple times. Actually, interestingly, when we had the very first GG and Vic, which was like a month or two before the main one.
Oh,
it was just me and Ro. And
I remember that.
yeah, it was just me and Ro and Hotel and Kieran, right? And the four of us were the only ones that met up. But it, you know, so we thought that it was a much smaller population in Vic than it ended up actually being. Mind you, I think the Honey Badgers brought a lot of the people out as well. Right, because some people that were there specifically to meet the Honey Badgers, like that the girl with Anna, for instance. I think she just went there specifically to meet Anna. Right, I'm not even sure if she knew what Gamergate was all about. I'm like, I might be
Oh,
wrong
that
on
little
that.
Asian
but-
girl?
What's that?
The little Asian girl?
Yeah, the high energy Asian girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you spoken to the man on the left since GG and BC?
yeah. I actually
Okay.
hung out with him the day after.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Because it was a bit worrisome because he kind of just went and was excited, and then he didn't really know how to get back, and so.
Oh
I
yeah,
found,
no.
I found him a buddy to like send them back with, and
That would have been Q. That was Q, wasn't it? Yeah, that
So,
was.
yeah.
I think the buddy was Q. Yeah, because I met with both of them just after. Literally, they got back on the ferry, and they're like, "Hey, EJ, do you want to meet up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it."
Yes,
Because I wanted to hear about what happened, right?
I was a little scared because I kind of just sent him off into the
Oh yeah,
unknown.
no, he was good. He was good to go. Good to go. Right, and then I think we got one more picture of Jamie here. Yeah. there we
Oh
go.
god, that's a lovely photo. I'm
Right,
just
and
getting
then-
spooned by Andrew. That's fine.
And now we got like the group photo of a whole shitload of people. Right? This guy looks like he's like praying to the Viking gods. You know? Right? Yeah, that's totally a chauffeur, man. Look at him. He's got the button jacket too and everything. Yeah, he's totally a chauffeur. So we had the group photo there. Obviously, this is not everybody that showed up. Some people didn't want to be on camera, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot more that just stayed inside and
Yeah.
ate their food.
And Teddy Bear is going to hate me for the next picture, I think. Actually,
God.
no, the next picture he's going to be pretty cool with, because now we're on to the GG and Vic pictures, the three pictures that we have. Yeah, so there you go, Teddy. There you
Doxed.
go. Doxed. He's so worried about appearing on camera, right? But
What is he, like the president of the United States? What does he have to hide?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with you.
It's very
I
interesting.
get it.
This girl in behind him here, she was here. She was there with Richard Heathen, and Richard Heathen is I think he's actually with the Libertarian Party. I'm not 100% sure. But
Yeah, he said he's with the Libertarians.
yeah, he was with the Libertarians, and they were actually making a documentary. I think having to do with the honey badgers somehow, because they actually did pretty lengthy interviews with both Karen and Allison.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's all he was there for too.
Yeah, that's all he was there for, right? But I actually talked to her quite a bit, and she's got like visual the really cool thing about this meetup is I actually made a lot of contacts that were all interested in the film industry in one aspect or another, right? And,
or just independent artists.
Or just independent artists, that kind of thing. And I talked about the possibility of collaborating on something in the future, and a lot of them seem pretty well into it. So, I do want to explore that a little bit further, and then we'll go to the group photo. Now,
That's very cool.
whoops! Sorry.
Oh God, what have you done?
Now, there's a story behind this photo. More
I'm sitting in the back.
More importantly, why I'm not in it.
I'm assuming you took
because
the photo.
when
we're smoking.
About it was like literally about 30 seconds before this photo was taken, I walked past here. Karen was sitting right here. I said, "Hey, Karen, you want to go for a smoke?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure. I'll be right out." And then Ro and I went outside, right? And then we were wondering what was taking them so long. And then Karen and this woman here. I don't want to name names, unfortunately, but yeah, Karen and this woman here both came out. She was really cool though. This chick was awesome. They came out and they're like, "Yeah, we got suckered into a group photo," and I'm like, "I missed the group photo." Okay.
Photoshop yourself in.
My bad. I dropped.
What's going on here? Why is my Skype acting up? You guys.
Alder dropped from it by accident, so I just resent him a link. That's all.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool.
Alright, thanks guys. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
It's all good. But it ended up pretty good. This is that filmmaker, that guy, right? A lot of these guys are really cool, right? They came out more than I expected. Once again, here's the Asian girl. You can see her all high energy there, right? I want to say that some of us had really, really fucking good nights. Yeah. Some of us had extremely good nights.
Mm-hmm. I like your, that's not the original photo.
That's not the original photo because we're on a live stream and I don't want to get in trouble from YouTube. But, yes, yeah, and I don't want to name names, but totally her.
Oh, what?
It's totally her.
No way!
Yes, because this was an hour after I left them after taking this picture.
Really?
Congrats to both of you.
Congrats to all three of them, actually.
Yeah.
So that was that. That was
awesome.
But holy crap! So this is actually ending up a little bit longer than I intended because we have two more things that we wanted to take care of.
All right, let's get through them then.
Let's get through it now. Gawker.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed.
We'll be
Gawker.
here for 7 hours.
Let's just sum it up. Gawker's gonna die. We're all gonna celebrate. Burn motherfucker.
They are rebranding apparently. They will reboot on Monday, a week and a half after publishing.
Whatever that will be rebranded as, I'm gonna be shitting all over it come Monday. I'm excited. I put so many time off just for Monday to shit on Gawker.
Let's hear the whole thing because what's interesting to me is doesn't this rebranding thing kind of seem like a last-ditch effort to save themselves? But I don't know if you want to read the article.
Well, here's the thing. I think they found a loophole with their liability insurance.
Okay.
And that if they rebrand and change their name, they may be able to get liability insurance again because they've used up all of their liability insurance. There's not a company that will touch Gawker.
Oh, that's so sketchy.
And this might be a loophole for them. I'm speculating. I'm purely speculating. I don't know. Yeah. I don't have any proof of this whatsoever. It's just
that wouldn't make any sense to me.
What's that?
That if they try and rebrand, they keep everything the fucking same. Well, then again, the clubs out here, they change their names every couple months.
Oh yeah. But this, and it's funny how this kind of comes on the heels of the Hulk Hogan,
This weekend, WrestleMania.
Oh my god, dude! Like they've what happens is they're falling apart, man. They're falling apart at the seams. They've got the editorial staff are turning on the management, and the management's saying, "Well, you guys can leave, and here's a pretty cool severance package, by the way, so shut the fuck up." But it just I don't know. Like, I don't trust them.
Right.
I'm willing. Here's the thing: if they say that they wanted, or what is it? He told
15% nicer. I think that was
20% nicer.
Something like that.
He told staffers like that they're going to be 20% nicer than their previous iteration, and it's just like, what the hell does that mean?
How do you quantify niceness?
Nicer.
Just the fact that you say that
quantify
shows. It just shows how much of an asshole you are.
Yeah.
Just say we're going to be more ethical. Say that. That is quantifiable. That is objective. Yeah. That's an objective statement. You can't say I'm going to be nicer. How do you measure that?
It's like being almost pregnant. I'm almost pregnant. Like, god damn. I don't know. It's just like, here's the thing. I don't trust them. I don't trust them, right? And I don't think a lot of other people trust. I didn't trust Gawker since even before Gamergate.
Oh yeah, me too.
Have you guys
seen the post live interview?
The one with like Jenny Barrage and shit like that?
No. This just came out a little while ago.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't.
He was on there with Jane Kirtley or something like that, professor of media ethics at University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one came out it was reposted by Why the Alien on YouTube. You should probably check it out.
53% say they'll give him a shot. 47% no, they've lost on respect. So it's pretty even. Yeah. No, but yeah, like the thing is but the beauty of this I find is that Gamergate, like, we definitely bloodied their noses last year, and they've admitted this. We cost them 7 figures, so we know we cost them at least $1 million. Right? We bloodied their fucking noses. Now, $1 million to fucking people like Nick Denton, in terms of like fucking, a business, that's fucking, nah, they don't care. Right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have kept poking the bear.
Right.
Right?
Here's the thing, though. Like, right now, Gamergate has such a huge card to play right now,
Oh, yeah.
Because they know all about the shit that Gawker's been up to for over a year.
Yeah.
And now Gamergate's not just a threat to him because, we're sending emails, because we're telling other people that never paid attention otherwise that Gawker is fucking shit. Yeah. Like, they didn't have to worry about Gamergate at first because they're like, oh, it's just a small contingent of gamer trolls or whatever. But now it's everybody. And those so-called gamer trolls, we're telling everybody about your bullshit.
Well, the other thing being is like, trolls, I find in my experience, they tend to work independently.
Right.
They don't really team up. They don't do anything like that. Gamergate, especially now that we've started doing meetups.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm not saying Gamergate is an internet.
Oh no! I'm not saying that either. I'm just I'm leading up to something here. Just give me a second. Right? Okay.
Go ahead.
We've formed even before we had in real life meetups and stuff like that. We had social networks all over Twitter. We've had where's it? Where's my Twitter? God damn it! Sorry. One second. There we go. So I've got my nice little tweet deck thing set up here. So
nice.
These things go nonstop. There's always people talking here, and one of the things that I've really noticed is that hold on. Just realized that my private messages are showing there. There's probably nothing untowards on it, but I just don't feel comfortable with that. Anyways, sorry, I was going somewhere with that, and I completely brain farted. It happens. This is what happens. Don't do drugs, kids.
I'll say this during your pause. Okay. Gawker said that gamers were dead, right? That was 11 months ago. Well, gamers aren't dead. We're still around, and they're fucking dying. So they're very wrong. They're very wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they tried to create a narrative, and they tried to. How does that go? Is manifest destiny?
Yeah, there you go. That's
You
a
know,
good terminology for
they
it.
tried to manifest what they wanted to happen,
Yeah.
and it backfired.
Oh my God, did it ever?
Yeah.
Hardcore
Now,
backfired.
here's the thing too. Like you might say, like some people might say, like, oh, okay, well, this isn't Gamergate's doing. This is actually Hulk Hogan. Well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. If Gawker didn't piss off gamers those 11 months ago, there's a lot of fucking gamers that read Kotaku, man. There's a lot of gamers, right? Even if a lot of us say we don't like them, we still read them. If they didn't piss us off, some of us right now would be fighting for Gawker to stay alive right now.
Oh yeah, just because they like watermelon butts, pretty much.
Exactly. Burn them, man. Gamergate could have been their support group. Instead, it's going to be their greatest enemy right now.
Well, I think they. I'm very clear on how I believe on Gawkers. They pander to outrage culture because it's outrage culture that gives them the most clicks.
Yeah.
That's
Okay. And I noticed this firsthand with that article that I published at the beginning of the month, just after GG and Vic. Right.
Right.
And like I don't want to get too much into that, right? Because it's just honestly, it's
Right.
all bullshit. It's it's all bullshit.
Anyways.
But the reality is that I did notice that the majority of clicks were coming from outraged SJW trolls.
Yeah.
Right, and this is coming straight from my analytics. I'm just like, Gamergate got a hold of it. They looked at it. They're like, hey, this is really fucking stupid, and they moved along.
Yeah.
Right, and even with Sargon's video, it was negligible. Right, but I'm still getting hits from Rational Wiki.
Wow.
I'm still getting hits to that article. Okay, it's been almost 3 weeks, and I'm still getting hits. Okay, that's a long shelf life. And I think that opened my eyes a lot more to like the analytics and the kind of people that these people are pandering towards is the outrage culture.
Yeah. Well, it's called clickbait for a reason, right?
Exactly.
That's all Gawker does.
Absolutely, right. So, and there's definitely like we have our own clickbaity kind of people on our side too. If you look at Ralph, if you even Milo, everybody, a lot of people love Milo, but the thing is you got to be. Some of the stuff he says is a little bit okay. Come on.
Here's the thing, though, like Ralph and Milo, especially Milo, he doesn't say like I'm an objective journalist. He never said that. He's transparent about his clickbaitiness. That's the thing, right? So I can read his articles and his stories in context of that understanding.
Yeah.
The problem that people have with Kotaku and Polygon is that they come off and try to pretend to be objective reporting, right? All this kind of shit.
Yeah, for sure. And that's that's basically it, So I mean, we've got Gawker fucking falling to shreds now, and obviously they still got money, right?
Of course.
Because they've got. I think their entire board is made up of venture capitalists, to be honest.
Right.
But you've got people leaving now because they were like, oh, what is that? You censored us? Oh, geez. Huh? Because the management censored the editors, and they're all like, "Oh, I'm not going to put up with censorship." Geez, I wonder what that sounds like. It rings a bell for some reason, eh? Fuck.
If I can ask a question, when is the actual court date with Hulk Hogan happening? Like, when is?
I'm not sure.
Because I keep hearing about it, I hear about it, and I'm really excited for that. Especially as someone who's a wrestling fan, I'm excited for that. But I can never find like a proper date on that. Maybe the chat knows.
October 20th.
October 20th. Wow. So we got the what's his name, Greg Elliot, in October as well. That was his name,
October
right?
6th, I think, is when we find out how that's turning out. Yeah.
So October's going to be a big month for us. So, yeah, so definitely SVJ is not endgame, that's for sure. We'll be all over October.
No. We're going to be. This is like. It's funny because people are like, "Oh yeah, they'll die down after a few months." I'm like, no. we're gonna last a few years and then we're gonna splinter off into other groups.
The ride never ends.
With Gamergate revolts or some shit like that, there's contingents of Gamergate where they don't even care about the fucking ethics and game journalism anymore. They're just going straight for the SJW topic, right? And I'm not saying they can't do it because who's to dictate a fucking hashtag?
Absolutely.
Right? Ironically, those people are trying to, but moving on.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's how it goes. So it's after 5. We're already about 5 minutes over what we intended, but I do want to have this one last segment here, and that's basically if anybody in the chat has any fucking questions for anybody here, or or comments or anything you want to add, get on it.
Let's see. Probably take a while to catch up.
Yeah, there's probably about a 2-minute delay between us and them.
While we wait, though, that Hulk Hogan thing recently with the racist thing, that feels like that was drummed up to try to put some negative press towards him, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
if
he lost his fucking job, for Christ's sake. Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
Think, that's just
Did you guys actually hear the clip?
I didn't, actually. I was looking for it. I couldn't find it.
There's one clip from 2012, and I was listening to it with a buddy of mine at work, and we're just like, that is garbage. There's like nothing there.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Which clip are you? Are you talking about the actual one that was just leaked? Then you're not.
The one on radio.
Okay. The one on the radio was from a radio show from a couple years ago. I actually looked into this because that was floating around, and everybody was saying that. Oh, that's the one. No, that was not the one that they're talking about. Okay. There is another one in which he does go off a little bit about. But here's the thing: he's obviously fucking frustrated. His wife has fucking left him for a black guy.
Yeah.
Right. He's calling the black guy that his wife left him for names.
What makes me so mad, and I was really hoping this wouldn't happen, but Booker T, I don't know if you guys know wrestling, but Booker T...
I know who Booker T is, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Booker T, like, shat on him for this, and it's like, fuck you. You called him the N-word on WCW Nitro. You literally, like, in an interview said, Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, N-word, and now you're shitting on him for that? And it's like... No, people make mistakes. You should know better than anyone. And it's just like, I see a lot of wrestlers come out and support him, like Mick Foley and all that, and that's great. But, like, come on, your colleagues, like, you people in the public eye, you really want to get in on this? And I've seen, I think, at least 2 or 3 wrestlers now just, like, call him out on it. And it's like, you know Hogan, you know he's had, like, I've watched his documentary. He tried to commit suicide once before. Like, he made a mistake, and he's apologized. He's continuously apologizing. It makes me so mad.
Kind of like the whole thing with Kramer. Fuck, I forgot his actual name. But
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like I saw that entire heckling, man. Like the time where those dudes up from the balcony that was heckling him. It wasn't because they were black. It's just because they were heckling him, and it was the first thing he could think of, right? And this is the same thing with Hogan, right? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, people have to understand, racism isn't words. It isn't fucking words. Racism has to be from a hateful, malice context.
Yeah.
It has to be from a place of malice. I can't just say nigger and be a racist. I have to say and mean it derogatory towards a black person, which I don't.
I agree.
Like, and that's what racism is.
And I know comedy is something that's constantly attacked, and it's like, comedy isn't racism, it's comedy, and just because you're offended by it, it doesn't mean that it's racist. And yeah, I don't know. I thought it was common sense, right? Like, up until 10, 11 months ago, and I thought what racism truly was common sense, and I've seen true racism, but apparently not.
I've experienced true racism. Again, like, I grew up, I moved to Newfoundland when I was just 3 years old, right? The only Asian guy was less than 1,000 people in Newfoundland. Less than 1,000 Asian people.
Ooh, The Rock.
The Rock, right? So, growing up, kids will be kids. They're assholes, and I've experienced racism because of that. But again, to clarify, people in Newfoundland are wonderful people, okay? But I'm just saying, in the context of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, one final thing from me on this before we go on questions is I trained to be an actor way before I got interested in working on video games. But my acting teacher, who I loved, and he's passed away. But one thing he said. And I would direct this to any people that thinks they know what racism is and they get outraged. He said to me, if you're white and you don't understand racism, you don't truly understand it, go to Quebec. Because
Quebec's the worst.
Yeah, he worked in Quebec a lot, and he's like, I didn't understand racism until I went there. And you don't get served. You will get charged more. They will, like, you can feel them looking at you. You can feel hate.
Isn't that more of like a language thing, though? Like, I know people who speak English get treated pretty poorly there.
Yeah, they don't like people from the outside, and it's like, I don't even care about that. Like, if they want to be that like snobby in their own culture, like whatever. Like, and obviously they're not all like that. But like, just hearing his stories about going to Quebec, and it's like, yeah, that's actual like people treating you like shit because you're somebody different in a different country.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway.
All right. So yeah, let's get on to these questions here because somebody's asking how big my dick is.
Okay.
And
Well,
I just want to throw this out there that when I get a hard on, I pass out because all the blood rushes out of my head.
oh,
Ah ha ha! You'll never be able to tell. All right. And so okay. So how big is your dick? I don't even know why. Why would you even ask that? Like that's like, do you want to see? Is that what it is? I don't know. What
hey, the
you
guy
guys?
that asked that, is that the chauffeur guy? He's got a red face.
He does have a red face. I wonder if that is the chauffeur guy. It's just kind of ironic that his avatar looks very similar to the costume
Yeah.
that was at GG and BC.
John Doe.
Curious.
John Doe, are you a
John
chauffeur?
Doe.
You
that
drive
would-
me around?
Is that actually like confirm or deny this? Because I'm actually curious if that's you in the pictures or not. YOLO.
You said YOLO.
YOLO. Okay. I'm just going to operate on the assumption that it is because I don't know. You never know. All right. What else we got here? We got here for Alder. Do you really have a 1-inch penis?
No, dude.
Okay. I was going to say you're Asian. It's huge in context, right? So.
Hey, leave him alone. It's 10 inches, 5 installments.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
yeah.
expect you to actually read chat out.
Oh man, sorry.
not him.
Okay, I think Hulk Hogan did fuck up, but I think people overreacted. Yeah. What are everyone's thoughts on the GG and Vic article on Black Trident's site?
All right, I'm gonna back away slowly, and there you go.
You know what?
I think
Actually,
it's garbage.
I knew this question was coming because a lot of people have been asking me about it. On my personal opinions are that the Black Trident site is a free speech platform, and regardless on whether or not I agreed with Hotel on her characterization or her, and honestly, I don't think her article was 100% serious either. There were things in there that were definitely meant to be taken sarcastically. Mm-hmm. And I think some people overreacted through that. But
The only thing about that article was I was a little bit agitated at the date and time of.
Oh yeah. You were more upset about the date and time. The reason being because you felt that it would overshadow GG and Vic and GG and BC, and I don't think it did at all.
It didn't, luckily. But I was
Yeah,
like, why
exactly.
are you releasing this today?
Right.
The party is today.
I think Sargon definitely jumped the gun by making a freaking 20-minute video about it, but
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
wanted to prove movie Bob wrong.
Yeah,
So-
and there's a lot of people suspecting Hotel of, actually being an SJW. And if you look at some of her quotes and stuff like that, it's really easy to see why they thought that, whether she was joking or not.
Yeah.
That was, obviously that's going to set people off. That's going to do that kind of thing. So she didn't show a whole lot of foresight on that matter. But at the same time, she's entitled to her opinion. I let her post that through the website. And that's that. And that's really all there is to it. Mm-hmm. To be honest, it gave it. There's an entry on Rational Wiki about that article by Ryu Long of all fucking people, right? So I started really, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how the media on both sides of the coin operate.
I mean, just look at the Bucks Day, what's his name? David Pacman interview. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? That's a perfect example of what you're talking about.
Yeah, outrage culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, outrage culture. And it definitely stoked that whole area of outrage culture because of just like I'm looking at the hits, probably about 80% of the hits came from like feminist sources. Right? And it's not because there are more of them, it's because they're more easily offended.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, look at this person. But the thing is when you're communicating via text, via email, via all these things, right? You're only communicating at a maximum of 2% of what we're capable of communicating with. you're missing out on intonations in the voice. Like we can pick up on intonations during a live stream. We can hear emotion in each other's voice, but you can't see body language. Body language has a huge part to play in human communication.
Ruining my dick right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could fucking masturbate, and none of us would ever know about it until you fucking blew your load.
It's only because I shut.
Can I get away with that on YouTube? I hope so.
You can get away with a lot.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
You're fine.
Okay, all right. So John Doe says it is not him.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
So he'll be a mystery.
We will believe you for the time being.
For the time being.
The hat was missing.
So yeah,
archive of it.
so the long and short of that article is that while I will disagree with Hotel's characterization of what was going on, right? I can't say for certain that she was necessarily like wrong to say any of that. The reason being is because she was coming from a position from within her own emotional state.
Right.
Right? So she's definitely entitled to say all of that.
Right.
And we're entitled to disagree. And that's basically all there is to it.
Can I speak my mind a little bit about this whole situation?
Yeah,
Just a little
by
bit?
all means, by all means.
I liked Hotel and all that stuff. She was a fine person and all that when I first met her. But around the end, when all the controversies start kicking up a little bit, I'll be completely frank with you guys.
She was playing it up. She was playing it up.
She was playing it up. I could tell she was not just trolling, the tag. She was trolling us as well, and that was really fucking annoying, right?
Because you couldn't know. Yeah, you don't know whether to trust her or not. So
exactly.
yeah, that's understandable.
She was the fucking organizer, and I wanted nothing but a good time, right? I was so looking forward to it. I was really into this whole GG thing, and I wanted to be confirmed that these are normal, everyday people. So again, I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And she was not showing that she was a normal, everyday person by the way she was reacting.
But you know what? Regardless of all that, both of the meetups they slid like butter, man. They both went off without a hitch. Everything worked great.
It did.
You know,
It really did.
way better than I ever expected. I was expecting a hell of a lot more trouble.
And if I can, sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Okay, well, if I can say some good things, I mean, she did start GG in BC, and which was awesome. And very, very, very early on, she pretty much said that I can take over that, and I asked for permission. I was very grateful because it was going to be small, and I was like, Hotel, I can make this bigger. And she said, go for it, and I'm really thankful for that. I've hung out with her in my streams before. She watched me play a Twitch game. That was a ton of fun. So she was an awesome person, and I think she just, one thing or another, turned her off of Gamergate, and that's just how she handled it.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
And that's her
but,
right.
I don't want to come off as though, I completely diss her. I was about to say, I don't think what she did was in place from purposely trying to sabotage anything or purposely trying to hurt anybody. I don't think she was actually trying to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But as you said, she was definitely going through some emotional stuff, right? I'm not gonna talk about.
I have nothing. I don't know what was going on in her personal life at the time. I wasn't very active in the Skype group at the time.
Right.
It wasn't until she's backed out that I'm like, oh shit, okay, somebody's got to take over. I'll step in.
Literally, my only issue was that she was seen on Twitter as the sole organizer, even though I put me as the sole organizer. No matter what I did, everyone saw her as the organizer.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. If she was just an attendee and she was talking how she was, nothing would have happened. But everyone was like, the organizer saying this, and so
exactly, yeah. So you can definitely understand where people were concerned about that and all that kind of stuff. But it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Honestly,
do we got any more questions?
Yeah, I think we got a couple.
Yeah, let's get some more questions in before we call this.
Let me see what I thought it's about. Blah blah blah. Favorite moment from GG and BC and GG and Vic. I don't think we've actually said that properly.
Oh, wow,
we've talked about moments, but EJ, if you want to start with Vic, and then me and Alder can talk about. You guys can talk about Victoria, and then me and Alder will talk about BC.
Yeah, I think
favorite moment. It was probably, my favorite moment was actually the night before GG.
Really?
It was the night before because I'm very pro legalization of marijuana.
Okay.
And I violated 4 of the honey badgers, and we'll just leave it at that. And that was a great time. That was a great time. Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. Bro, did you have anything for Victoria?
Yeah, mine was just meeting the honey badgers while we were at interactivity there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, some nice discussions. Sorry, I'm playing a video game at the same time, eh?
Oh no, it's all good. Alder, do you want to go with BC?
Sure. I just enjoy meeting everybody, honestly. I just enjoy talking to people. I met James Maynot. I'm sure a lot of you guys know him on Twitter.
He was fucking awesome.
He was a larf and a harf at the event. I met a whole bunch of people from the Skype chat, which was awesome. There was actually one point of the night where almost the entire Skype chats that was there anyways was sitting around in this whole table. That was pretty cool. So kudos to my Skype chat brothers and sisters and all that. But yeah, the whole night was really, really fantastic. Just meeting, everyday normal gamers and people.
Yeah. For me, it's like kids. I can't pick one, but I'll go through them quick. First thing would definitely be realizing I was panicking. I was pretty much what I was doing was I was just seeing somebody that was sitting alone on their phone, or they weren't talking with anybody, and I would just go and talk to them and hang out with them, try to get them in to the conversation. But at the point where I was trying to get through people to talk with them and take photos with people, and I realized I'm barely able to move, and then I kind of just realized I'm holy shit, this place is packed. That was a great feeling for me personally. Apart from that, hearing Lauren's speech to everybody and hearing Allison's speech to everybody was amazing. It was really cool that they were kind of back to back because Lauren's was very much a speech of and I know they're filmed. I'm not sure if they're on the internet. I haven't seen them since.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to come online.
I know Honey Badgers filmed them. Yeah, but
you know what? Sorry, you know what? There's actually another moment at GG and Vic that I want to talk about.
Sure.
But I'll let you finish though.
Okay. Yeah, I'm almost done. So Lauren's speech was very kind of a cheering, we're fucking awesome. She was talking about us growing up and playing MMOs, and how we're not going to stand for this shit and all this, and that was awesome. And then Allison's speech was motivational, but in a completely opposite way. It was very moving, and I saw more than a few people actually tearing up, whether they're hiding it or not. And I really hope that gets released. Allison's a very quiet person, but I hope it gets released and you can hear it, because it was... I can't do it justice, even paraphrasing. It was fucking awesome. So that, and then my final one would just be talking with, and I have his name, the guy that got there the earliest. It was at Ferve, so Fuerve. Just talking with him, and he was a very down-to-earth guy, and he was just saying, thank you for doing this, and, how awesome it is, and how great it is to meet these people. And it was kind of my reflecting moment. Everyone kind of left, and it was just me and him just hanging out and talking about how it went. That was awesome. So yeah, lots of moments, but that was probably
nice.
My tops.
Okay, so hold on.
Back to Vic.
I gotta sneeze. What? Oh, fuck. Hold on. Okay, now I don't have to sneeze. Okay, so there was one guy who was at GG and Vic. Now, after we left interactivity, I didn't really get a chance to talk to him all that much. But when we were all getting ready to leave, and I was going around, I was making sure to talk to everybody, thanking them for coming out, and all that kind of stuff. There was one guy, and I can't for the life of me remember his name. So if he's listening, he'll know who I was talking about. Is the guy who was wearing the Crit Happens shirt.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You were there for that too, I think. And he was I think he's got a little bit of social anxiety because he had a hard time making eye contact with people, and he's very shy, that kind of thing, right? It was very quiet. But at the end of the night, he was almost getting emotional about how nice it was to actually have us all in one place and talking, and the way he put it is I'm surrounded by freaks like me. And it was really heartwarming in a way, because you could see that he really meant it. He was really finally there's these people that are actually gonna not judge me for whatever reason. And yeah, so I mean, it was good. It was good. It was, and that was really heartwarming for me.
Oh
to
no,
see.
seriously,
Yeah.
I totally see where that guy's coming from. After 10 at the time 10 months of taking this bullshit, and from my perspective, like growing up, being picked on for being a nerd and all this shit.
Yep.
You know, this is years in the making for me. You know, like I was picked on more for being a nerd growing up than for being Asian, right? So I spent fucking years saying, look, there's merit to video games. There's artistic merit. There's competitive merit. You know, and it took a long time for me to see video games to become accepted in the mainstream culture, to be accepted as, you know, just an everyday normal thing. And then having all these people fucking shit on you for 10 months, and then finally seeing the people who support you and your thoughts and your ideas of video games and that share the same passion and love for it, for the culture. Yeah, it's really, really touching, man. I felt the same thing that this guy felt, man.
Yeah.
If I can extend this further, it reminds me, Alder, what you said, something. There was a father and a son there at GG in BC, and I think they're anonymous. I won't say anything, but
Yeah.
it was just nice to see, because the number one thing that always bothers me with like SJWs, it's like, oh my god, the ones that have kids, and you're forcing your kids to this. And just seeing a father bring his son here, and the son was like, I just play Destiny, I don't really care about this shit, but the dad's like, this is important because you love games, and you'll know this is important later. And just seeing like a positive parenting side, in my opinion, and just talking with the both of them
Oh yeah.
was
Well, hey,
very, very awesome.
If my daughter wasn't off in Ontario in a freaking play, I would have brought her along with me too. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, yeah. But that's it's just how these things go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think we're pretty much done, guys.
Cool.
I think we're about 25 minutes over what we originally had planned, and that's probably a good thing more than it's a bad thing.
Awesome.
You know. So but yeah. So thanks for coming out, guys, and we will probably be having another one of these in the near future.
Before we sign off, sorry, do you want to do like a final where we can find us all, like around the table?
Oh yeah, for sure. You guys go ahead, then I'll end it off. Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
Go for it, Jamie.
Okay, so I'm Jamie Schneider. I was the organizer of GG in BC. This was a ton of fun. I hope to come on again. That'd be awesome. So you can find me at Korig on Twitter, at KORIG, and then sometimes I stream on Twitch, so twitch.tv/DarthKorig, all one word. It's all linked on my Twitter. You find one, you'll find them all. And that's me.
Go for it, Ro.
Oh yeah.
Ro doesn't want to be known.
Yeah, well, no, actually, yeah, no, I just got onto my Twitter again, finally, because I couldn't remember my email for the longest time for this account anyways, for my GG account.
Yeah.
It's just ROEVERM. Yeah, Twitter there.
Yeah, Roverm.
And yeah, pretty much. That's the best way to get a hold of me, but I didn't really say much here this stream. I've been playing video games.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Good reason. Video games are great. But for me, I do the YouTubes. If you like PC games or hidden gem games or indie games, check out my YouTube channel at Aldershot, ALDERSHOT, spelled the way it sounds, 8008, right? My Twitter is also by that handle, Aldershot8008. I rant about game politics, obviously, and just video game stuff in general.
I've actually watched some of your gameplay footage too, specifically with Ark Survival involved, because that game looks amazing.
What do you think?
I want to play it so bad, but I haven't. Like, it's $32 on Steam right now, and I gotta I gotta make sure my bills are paid first. You know what I mean?
I'm waiting for that For Honor or whatever.
Oh, the one with the
about?
Vikings versus
Yeah,
samurais.
the samurai
and shit?
versus knights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
that looks pretty good.
Yeah,
That looks
yeah.
pretty good. And what is it? You're also playing the Long Dark. That looked that game looks pretty decent too. So.
Yeah, it's a Vancouver-made early access.
Oh, I didn't know
survival
it was
game.
Vancouver.
Oh yeah, the devs are really cool. You know, I talk to them sometimes, not often, but every now and then, over Twitter or on the forums or something like that. But good guys, man, good guys. There's a lot of talented developers in Vancouver, actually. A lot.
Yeah,
of them.
well, it's a tech city, right?
Yeah, it is.
There's a bunch of small ones in Victoria as well.
Yeah, there are actually. There's some. I think some of the Ubuntu guys are from here.
The guys
Yeah.
who did The Forest is Vancouver. The guys who did Crypt of the Necrodancer, he's Vancouver. I can go on and on, but I won't.
Vancouver. Sorry, Matt, or that's Rincewind, isn't it? Matt the
Yep,
Paranoid
yep.
Cat. Yeah, okay. Anyways, all right. So, yeah, my name is EJ Spurl. I run blacktridentmedia.com, which is your source for fucking geek culture, opinion, news, politics, shit like that. And I also do Black Trident TV, the fucking trigger warning, which a lot of you guys probably are already aware of, or you might not do. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I like subscribers. And subscribe to Aldershot's channel, and subscribe to Jamie's channel. Wait, Jamie, you have a channel, right? You do have
I have a YouTube where I just upload my Twitch. So, like I said,
well, subscribe to it anyway, and subscribe to him on Twitch.
it's fun for my old archives, and you can see all the garbage. So,
Yeah, and do
Darth
that.
Porrick.
So now that the shilling is out of the way, we'll see you guys later.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.